Hey everybody, welcome to Into the Heart of Murasaki 312, which is the 12th episode of Star Trek Lexington. We got more people than normal here. Thank you, Craig, for rating the stream. I appreciate that.
Well, I told them if they didn't come, then I'd send Daniel Pratt to their grandmother's house.
Wow. Oh, well then, at least 50 people have dropped out, so Daniel Pratt's going to be pretty busy.
Yeah.
So, sorry if he didn't stick around, but Danny Pratt is he's on his way. He's gonna bring the water heater with him
to your granny.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty wild. All right, but we are here for our Star Trek Adventures First Edition Let's Play. In case you guys don't know exactly what's going on, because I know there's some new people here, and so I, of course, am the game master or the game mom, as it says on screen, as for our lovely name tags that Chesh here made for us. Yeah, for which I actually did not add a credit. She didn't get a credit for art. Sorry, Chesh.
I mean, she misspelled Zerlon, so she only gets half credit anyway.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
I copy-pasted it. How did I get it wrong?
Good job.
It's got 2 L's, but I really don't care.
I swear, next... one of these days, we need to get, like, a supporting character who's, like, Ensign Catzoid. Just for fun.
My mic is really quiet for some reason.
I will turn you up a little bit. Let's see how that... guys, let me know who's quiet and who's not. Apparently,
Mic check.
Oh, you're a lot louder that time. All right, so we're going to introduce everyone. So we're going to start over there with Chesh.
Hi, I'm Chesh. I have a show called Debate Hub. You should go check it out. FTFE is going to be on it soon again. Jordan's going to be on it soon again. Dapper's going to be on it, but that's not scheduled yet. But he'll be there. Actually, he will be there at the end of the month. We're doing a super long tavern with all the news stuff.
Oh, are we?
Yay! So if you like, elevated or more erect conversation, come on over. I do art, I guess, and do art incorrectly, apparently.
CG Lamoureux for $2 says, "Let me kick off the goal. Unfortunately, it's for the teal and up super chats, not the $2 ones. So you tried, but I do appreciate it." All right,
I'm greedy.
Thierry.
Hello, I'm Tiriana. I'm playing Beer Chanos, the executive officer, and yeah, that's mostly it.
Okay. Craig, that's way.
Hello, my name is Craig. I run the YouTube channel FTFE, where I talk to people that, to be nice, are fucking idiots. I'll be going to New Jersey soon to debate some other idiots. That's going to be fun. I play, usually, Commander Shelby, half human, half Tellarite asshole that, tries to stop his racist first officer getting in trouble. But today I will be playing Lieutenant Fitz, who's just a ray of sunshine.
Yep.
Also, Chess, if you just speak to my producer about the appearance fee, I think we agreed 12 magic beans, was it?
Yeah, yep. It's already taken care of.
All right. Jordan.
Hi, I'm Jordan. I run the YouTube channel Reason to Doubt, and we have put out one video this year that is not Shroud of Turn, and the next video is also not going to be Shroud of Turn. We're we're turning over a new leaf.
Unsubscribe.
Cloth behind, not completely, but mostly, because if I have to do more Shroud stuff, I'm gonna vomit. And here, I typically play Captain Hawk, the commander of the vessel. Today, I'll be playing Ensign Talk, our Vulcan pilot.
Awesome. All right, Necro.
I'm Necro, and also known as Czar some places, and normally I play the security officer, but I'm going way out there and playing like a lower security guy. This time it's a turtle. So.
Yeah, it's a turtle this time. All right,
Stupid turtle.
Zerlon.
Hey guys, I'm Zerlon. I'm usually Hank Lanford, but I'm going to be a kitty cat today, which is pretty nice because we've actually got, my wife and I got our game channel made. There's no videos on it yet, but we're going to be streaming on YouTube board games under Cozy Cat Games at some point soon.
Excellent.
So hope to see everybody there.
All right, well, that is everyone, and I don't think we have any further ado. So,
Dean in the chat says, is this just lower decks? Basically.
So this episode is going to be a bit lower decksy. Normally we have the bridge crew as our main characters. That's the names that you're seeing up here with Dr. Tregan and Commander Beer Chanos and Commander Shelby and whatnot. But I decided that today it would be fun to do a Lower Deck style episode. So that's what we're doing. And let's get...
No, apparently Zeralon's a bit quiet now. Just so you know.
Zero One's a bit quiet.
Everybody was quiet except for Dapper, apparently, basically.
It's like, it's my show. No one hear you.
Yeah, I have the mute button. I'm pulling a Nathan Oakley today.
We in the background all said we were going to turn our mics down as soon as we started. And we did.
They did.
So.
Jillian Rock Candy Mountain Wren, Rock Candy Mammoth Wren says, top hats off, did you turn up Chesh? I think I just did. Alright, so, without further ado, for real this time, Captain Hawk, could you read the captain's log for today's episode?
Captain's log, Stardate 6652.1. The Lexington has been ordered by Admiral Stoker to the planet Taurus II in the Murasaki 312 cluster. The planet was first surveyed a year and a half ago by the USS Enterprise, which nearly resulted in the death of a whole landing party led by Commander Spock. The Admiral believes that the ionic storms the planet is known for may be connected to potential Tilikaal ruins under the surface, and we are tasked with investigating. We'll have to visit the planet covertly, because the natives are still in their Stone Age, and they're also known to be aggressive and stand about 3 meters tall. So not only is the Prime Directive a concern, but they pose a significant physical threat to any landing party personnel. I am organizing that landing party, and I'm considering issuing phase rifles set to stun, but I'll consult with Mr. Krrok about that.
All right, we have a super chat for $4.99 from Savage Mind Ziggurat Cobra, who says, "We come in peace. By the ways, how do you come?" Yeah, that's going to be Dr. Tregan's answer if she's going down there.
Listen, you don't understand.
Oh, we understand.
What you don't know is that in future time periods in Star Trek, it just becomes known as the Tregan Protocol to ask how do they fuck.
Mm-hmm.
It matters.
It's important biology.
Yes.
Have you initiated the Tregan Protocol? Fine.
Listen, it matters, and don't worry about that. There's definitely not Vaseline cream right beside the desk right now.
How do you come?
Oh. Well, at least you're not giving
That one was called the Riker maneuver.
At least you're not giving an interview.
Wait, hold on.
At least you're not giving an interview on BBC Wales with your bookshelf in view.
The Riker maneuver is when you ask if they can, not how do you.
There you go. All right, so you come out of warp at the edge of the
First contact protocol.
Excellent. All right, you come out of warp at the edge of the Murasaki 312 phenomenon, which is, quote, quasar-like, because the original series didn't know what quasars were, because no one did at the time.
No. It's just a cool word.
Yeah, it is.
I can't believe it's
very
called quasars.
Yeah. So there is a green nebula-like formation in front of you, and towards the center of it is an accretion disk that's spinning very rapidly, while jets of radiation come from either perpendicular to the plane of the accretion disk.
That's not a quasar.
It's not a quasar, that's true.
Quasar-like.
It's quasar-like.
It's not even quasar-like, but anyway.
It's quasar-like. It's in the universe, just like a quasar.
Quasarine.
Look, it's got gravity and radiation, and those are both things that quasars have.
Well, yeah, to be fair, so do I.
It follows the laws of physics. Come on, get
on. Okay, so you,
at least some of them.
If you would like to proceed closer to try to figure out where in this nonsense of gravitic waves and ion storms Taurus II is, it will require a difficulty 1 control and con check assisted by the ship's computer and con.
All right. If we're sticking
Control and con, I could do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Chanos is our backup pilot, basically.
Computers and con.
Come on. Why is it not?
All right. So that is computers and con.
No, it does. Oh, that is.
Isn't that what you said?
For the ship, yes.
Yeah.
Wow, good job, ship.
Yeah, 2 successes on that.
2 successes. So no pressure, Chanos.
Don't let the ship down.
Well, hey, that's 1 success there, which means you guys gain 2 momentum. and you have successfully entered the Murasaki 312 nebula-like thing, but you do not know the exact location of Taurus II at this point, and it will require a Reason and Con difficulty 2 check assisted by the ship's sensors and science.
Sensors.
Is that difficulty including our discount for our extra awesome sensors?
It sure is.
Cool.
Nothing for the ship.
Stupid ship.
Janos, or whoever's going to do the
Lanford.
Reason and Con?
I'm not doing.
Oh, I thought.
I can do it. Let me spend 1 momentum for an extra die.
Okay.
Just because I don't feel like starting not knowing where planets are is a good idea.
No,
yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Oh, well, we can have it back anyways.
Good
All right.
sciencing.
Yep, that was 3 successes. So you are actually able to locate the planet without any real trouble. So there you go. If you would like, this would be a good time while you're approaching the planet and before anything unfortunate happens to perhaps discuss who should go on the expedition, Captain.
Yeah, so I'll bring the senior leadership into the conference room to discuss that. And I'll say we'll need representatives from every department.
Captain, I'm busy. Look, doing the overhaul that you asked me to do of the sensor sweep system. So I'm going to be busy. I'll tell you what, Fitz can do it. All right, she's kind of good at her job, and I can, she won't be under my feet. So anyway, I'm going to get back to what I was doing. I'll send Fitz over. Okay, bye.
I'm sure the away team will be devastated to know that you won't be along, but we'll manage it somehow, Commander.
You hear him swear something else as he's off down the corridor.
Krrok, who are you going to be sending from security?
Leonardo.
Ensign Tua?
He nods.
On first name basis. It's good. That's the kind of camaraderie I like to see on my ship.
Formality training incoming.
No, Hawk is a chill guy. He's cool. That's fine. Okay, so that's that. We'll need somebody from the science department. Lanford, who do you got?
Who are we sending for science?
I believe Bob Dave is the next on the rotation.
I think it was Bob Dave.
Bob Dave.
I think he's made the least mistakes recently. We did have a few
So
viruses
he's punished
escape.
with work.
Yeah, he was not involved in that, so I think that's the one we'll send.
By the way, Savage Mayan Ziggurat Cobra for 499 says, some people learn by hearing or reading. Riker learns about other species by doing. Mostly them.
Yeah. Even when he doesn't really want to, and it's just so that he cannot be killed by people and escape from the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Look, when aliens come down,
pretty sure Riker got raped. Just saying.
Look, aliens and probing are just kind of a thing. They go together.
Yeah.
All right, so for medical, we'll need one of our nurses. Dr. Tregan, who would you like to send?
Well, have these people ever worked together before?
The people we're sending the away mission?
The people we're sending, yeah.
Well, of
They're
course.
mostly from their own departments, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
but
they
as
are
you're
mission.
aware, naturally, we have extensive training between interdepartments for just this kind of occasion.
Right, but this group in particular has not really worked together as it's its own unit.
No.
I'd have to check
No.
my logs.
All right, I know the perfect person for this job. We're gonna send Greg. Greg's got this. He's more of a counselor than a medic, but he'll be able to manage the interconnectivity of the group.
And we'll also send along a nurse in case they need medical attention. Nurse Ian Wren should do. So that makes it Tua, Greg, Dave, Fitz, Ian Wren, and of course we'll need someone to fly down. So Ensign Talk is next on the rotation.
There's a knock on the door, and it beeps. Lieutenant Fitz is there. She's like, Commander Shelby sent me. As she walks in the room, she trips over her own feet, spills the glass of water that she had onto the captain's pad, and erases all the data that he collected for the day.
We don't have cloud backups. It's literally on the pad.
Now, they haven't invented the space cloud yet. Only Earth cloud.
So,
No, we have those ridiculous little chips we got to stick in everything. You know,
Right.
those oversized floppy disks.
that was
You
your
do,
personal
but your
pad.
pad is not Bluetooth connected, so
Yeah.
you have to go back and re-download it.
That's okay. So, Lieutenant Fitz, thank you for
Sir,
coming up so quickly.
Sorry, I'm so sorry, sir.
No,
hi.
it's no problem. And I hand you the pad and say, while you're getting ready for the away mission, please give that to Commander Shelby and tell him I need the data recovered. Priority 2, please.
Sir, this is sparking.
I'm sure Commander Shelby will figure it out.
It's definitely not just sending him another bomb.
I'll be back in a minute. Bye.
Mark Right-Handed Sith Smith for $2 says, so Riker equals Kirk? Actually, Riker more embodies the Kirk stereotype than Kirk ever actually did.
Right, yeah. Like, Kirk's actual in-canon persona is more nerdy and, like, a lot more, like...
He had his, like,
responsible.
his occasional let me show you what is love episode, but, like, Riker was just constantly on the prowl.
He was a dog.
Yeah.
I
And we
think
all
people
know
didn't notice as much because Riker's also a very sensitive man.
I mean, yeah, he can be both.
Oh, and we have to designate who will be in charge since we have 2 lieutenants, and I think Lieutenant Dave has seniority.
Lieutenant Fitz is quite new.
Yeah.
This is her first assignment.
So Captain
Yeah,
Hawk
then-
is saying Lieutenant Dave's in charge.
Okay.
That makes
Well,
sense. Yeah.
now that we have figured that out, I'm going to change scenes. We're going to drop 1 momentum. And as you are figuring all this out, there is a alarm that sounds, which let me get.
That sounds like a problem.
And the ship feels like there was a hit. Yeah, everyone is. Ah! The degree to which you don't play along with the shaking is the degree to which you hate Star Trek.
Star Trek for life.
So, on the intercom, you can hear talk who's on the helm. They captain to the bridge.
On my way, and I'll run out the door.
All right. When you're there, talk says, Captain, we've encountered an intense ion storm. So
What's the status of the shields?
they are holding currently. So here's what we're going to do now. We're actually going to go into a turn-based thing, as if we were in combat, and
Oh no.
you guys are going to have to see if you can get enough successes to pilot through the storm to actually enter orbit of Taurus II. So, it is the player's turn first. Who is at what console, if any?
I'm
I'm
at
just
the
usually at weapons, so I guess that.
The Krrok's at the tactical console.
Yeah, I'm still. Shelby's still in the sensor sweep room fixing what the captain told him to. So he's,
All right,
he's a bit busy.
On your turn, you could probably get yourself to an engineering console, either on the bridge or in engineering, if you wanted to.
Okay, well I've managed to crawl out of the Jeffries tube, covered in wires.
Not yet, you haven't, because you just told me where you were, and I'm not changing it.
Right, I'm in a Jeffries tube. Crap.
All right. The captain is at the captain's chair, I'm assuming. Lanford, are you at the science?
Yeah, pretty much Lanford lives there.
All right, and Chanos, you're at the helm, I suppose.
Yeah.
And Tregan, you're in sick bay in case any casualties come in. All right. The players go first. So, who would like to go first? Mark, right-handed Sith Smith for $2 says, by the way, did I miss a Dapper and tutu? If so, when? No. I will be wearing a tutu on Tuesday or either Bent will. Either Bent will be wearing it or I'll be wearing it on Tuesday, and whoever doesn't wear it that day will be wearing it on the next Kent with Bent. So, stay tuned.
Tuesday.
Tutu Tuesday. I'm going to wear a tutu. It's going to be great. It's pink. Although it shows up as kind of whitish because camera likes to desaturate things a little bit. But I promise, it is pink in person. Anyway. Right, so who's taking the first turn?
I'll go first. So I'm currently in a Jeffries tube, literally like wrapped in wires.
Mhm.
So I want to try and get out of the Jeffries tube, please.
So moving around the ship is not usually a task during ship combat. So you are just allowed to get to where you're going, and that'll be your turn. The
Right, I'm now in front of the console then that I needed to be in.
Ion Storm, however, rolls a 13 and a 12. Let me double check what my actual.
That's impressive. An Ion Storm could do that, but you know.
That is 2 successes, which means I
Ion
am
Storm greater than shuttlecraft confirmed.
I am upping my threat to 13. And
That's a lot of threat.
the ship suffers 2 damage to its shields.
Oh,
So who
Okey-dokies.
is
All right,
going?
so just so I'm clear, what are we attempting to do here?
You need to get enough daring and con checks, assisted by the ship's engines and science, to escape the Ion Storm. So you are both
Well.
trying to pilot through the Ion Storm and avoid taking too much damage, and if you take damage, trying to deal with that on the fly.
Well, I'm pretty good at daring and con. I've got a 14 of that. So is
I
that
have
just
a
like an action
15
we can
in that.
take?
Yeah, that's an action that anyone at the helm can take, which is currently Commander Chanos.
All right, well then Chanos should probably go first.
Well, second, but
Alright.
Chanos.
Yep.
Would you like to take a
Well-
difficulty 3 daring and con check, assisted by the ship's science engines and science?
Sure.
You have 1 momentum.
I would like to spend that momentum.
Okay.
I got the ship.
All right. So that is 2, 4, 5 successes. So that means you get that point of momentum back, and you have now successfully made one of those 4 checks that you need to make. But it is the Ion Storm's turn because it just keeps getting turns. And let's see. That is not a success. I did not quite get enough successes to hit you. So the Ion Storm rages, but you remain currently unharmed. Whose turn is it next?
I'll go, and I'll use the direct action to direct Commander Chanos to get us out of here and redirect emergency power to the engines.
Okay. So, Tiri, you can take another daring and con check because you've been directed.
And I can assist this with my command skill.
Okay. Command and
whatever
presence?
stat you want. Command and presence.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably.
And I got 2, and also because I'm assisting, Chanos can reroll one of his d20s.
All right. Well, Chanos, let's get that daring and
I will
con
do.
check. All right.
15 is not enough. So.
All right. Well, that is 3
one.
successes, but let's see what the ship can do because the ship might be able to help with engines and science.
I'll do that if you want.
Got it.
Ooh,
Oh,
nice.
nope.
You got it. Right.
That's 1 more
Oh.
success than you even needed.
Boom.
All right. So that is 2 successes. The Ion Storm fails again. So who's next?
Someone who is a little bit more daring than me should probably get over here.
Like I said, I got 15. I'll go, I guess.
You can change
Right.
positions is a minor
The
action. So you
birds
can
got
do that.
that D? Is that where we're at right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, if Krrok wants to just push Chanos aside and grab the helm, he can do it.
Sure.
Do it.
Do we have any momentum? 1?
We got 2.
2.
Okay, I'll use 1.
Okay.
Daring and con.
That is 2 successes. The ship
yeah.
needs to get 2 successes, or it doesn't help.
Oof.
0. Bad ship.
All right, but you are currently, unfortunately, going to be taking. Let's see, 5 damage to the shields.
Ow, please, no.
Well, who's next?
Is everyone gone yet?
No, I haven't gone yet. Is there any way I can use our ship sensors to either find a safer path or buffer our shields on this here?
I will tell you what, if you give me a control and science check assisted by the ship's computers and science, and it is difficulty 3, but if you can succeed, I will say that the next roll for the navigation will be lowered in difficulty by 1.
Would my focus on astrophysics help here?
Yes, it would.
Ship
Nice.
gave bugger all.
Jillian Rock Candy Mammoth Friend says, so this could be the last episode right here. I mean, I guess if everyone does really poorly, it's hypothetically
Yeah,
possible.
that's it. We're dead.
Theoretically, yes.
Yeah.
It's always possible.
Every episode would be our last.
All right, so that is 2 successes. Let's get the ship's
Did it?
computers
It got
and
nothing.
science. Oh, did it? Oh, well then,
Yeah.
not enough. All right,
Sadness.
the Ion Storm does not manage
Wait,
to
I
hit
didn't
this
get
turn.
to go yet in my medical bay. The ship
Yeah.
has a boo-boo.
You can go now if you would like to.
The ship has a boo-boo. I can't do anything about this. I'm kidding. Go.
All right, so you gonna pass?
Yeah.
All right, the ship gets to go one last time for this
I
turn.
would kiss it better.
Nope. All right, so the players are back up. Who is gonna go first this turn?
Okay, can I try and reroute some power to get more shields back on?
Yeah, I believe there is actually a particular action for restore shields, isn't there? can remember that,
I'm
yeah.
looking
Should
it
be.
up. Main. Regenerate shields. Has a power requirement of 1, control and engineering difficulty 1, assisted by the ship's structure and engineering.
All right, there you go.
Control and engineering, did you say?
Mhm.
I've got a 14 in that, and
Diff-
I use my focus on electroplasma power systems.
Yes.
And how many momentum do we have?
You
just
have one, but it's only difficulty 1 on the check.
Right.
And then you gain, if successful, we regain 2 points of shields plus 2 more for each momentum spent.
That would be after. So that is 4 successes, which means you get 2 more momentum. So you automatically get 2 shields back, and if you would like, you have 3 momentum. You could spend it to recharge even more shield.
Oh, yeah, can we do that, guys?
Yeah, spend at least one of them.
Yeah.
Not exploding in space is always a good thing.
How many?
So is it just 1 momentum for 1 more shield bit?
1 for 2 more.
1 for 2.
Okay, all right. That takes us back up to only 3 damage of the shields.
Okay. All right. So the Ion Storm goes again and fails. Not a very good
Stupid
Ion
Ion
Storm. Yeah.
I know.
All right.
Krrok should probably go and pilot again.
I can try. Do we have any momentum left, or did
2
he use it all?
momentum.
Oh.
Yeah, we should have, yeah.
How much would you like to spend?
I'm not good at flying the ship, but I
mean, you could spend
I'll
both
spend
at-
one.
Oh, I was going to say you could spend 2 and then also give me a threat.
Since Hawk's going to be out for most of this mission, next turn I'm going to go. I'm going to take the thing, and I'm going to burn everything I have.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I'll just use one. That's fine.
That's 3 dice then?
Not
Wow.
bad.
That is 4 successes
Ooh.
right there. Let's see what the ship does, because if the ship's engines and science task is good enough, then hey, guess what?
Jordan,
2
2?
again.
Oh
Man,
my
the ship
goodness.
is killing it today.
good ship. That's what we like.
Wow. Lexington
We
for the
will
win
probably
today.
die on the planet.
So that's 3 successes. The Ion Storm does not damage you again this turn. All right. So, Hawk, were you planning to do that again?
So, thematically, Krrok is tossed out of the chair,
Of
and so I
course.
jump over and take over the helm.
Do it
He
in
said, daring. It was
This
daring
is
and con.
after
Yes,
Krrok
difficulty 4.
shoved Shanos out of the way, though, right?
You have 3
Right,
momentum.
right. So now there's just
So
like
we're playing
bodies
Congo
around.
line, just shoving
This
people
is
out of
like the
This-
Three Stooges bridge day.
The
So-
Benny Hill
I've
music
seen
just
an
starts
airplane
playing.
where everyone lines up to slap the woman. It's
Right.
just everyone is lining up to have it go in the toilet.
I have focus and helm operations. I assume that applies.
Yes, it does.
All right, so I will use a momentum to get 3 dice.
You don't want to use all 3
I
momentum?
What's difficulty 3? Is it
4.
4?
You,
Okay.
yeah, burn it all. Burn it all.
I'm seeing what else I have. What are our directives, by the way?
He's considering our options.
That is a great question. Your
Not
directives
blowing up and
are
down,
to determine whether or not the Taurus II planet has any connection to the Tilikaal. The prime directive is always there. And of course, don't blow up the ship.
I like
Okay.
that
We
one.
probably
Hit the
don't
planet
start a war with the
successfully.
Klingons.
Well, since I will then burn a determination for the directive of don't blow up the ship because I'm attempting to fly us through this ion storm without blowing up.
Nice.
And I'll use that to get a die with 2 successes.
Okay. And then you're going to pay again. Are you still going to pay for an extra die? That'd be 2 momentum that you would pay then.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll be rolling 3, and then I'll also use my Starcross, which lets me double my focus range. So I'll get 2 successes on a 6 or better.
Wow. Okay.
All right, making the most of that medal. Let's go.
Yeah, I haven't
All
used any
right.
of my medal stuff
So
yet.
let's see.
I'm not really sure.
That's actually
so that
2,
should be
4.
5 successes. 'Cause that middle one is a
Yep.
6.
And let's get the starship.
What was the ship's doing?
Engines and science.
Engines and science. There we go.
Jeez. Okay.
Oh wow!
2 more
Just give
successes
us all
for
the
the ship.
momentum.
All right. Yeah. No. So you guys managed to get through the ion storm. The ship is no longer in any immediate danger, and you are now in orbit over Taurus II.
Got so many successes, we wiped ion storms out of existence.
If only.
The challenge die, is it challenge on 5 or 6? Is that how that works?
It is the effect on 5 or 6 is
Yes.
what it's called.
Okay, then I retain my determination with my veteran trait.
Nice. Okay. So I am going to. You guys can now successfully send people down. Are you sending them down on shuttle or transport?
No reason why transport wouldn't work, right? Is there any radiation?
Well, we're in an ion storm.
Well, we've got through the ion storm.
Yeah, but the planet is like known for its ion storms, right?
Yes. I will let you know ahead of time. Either way, there will be checks that will be difficult in order to get everyone down safely. So there is no one answer that is the right answer. It just depends. Would you rather have Talk taking various piloting checks, or would you like Fitz working on engineering checks to make sure the beam down is safe?
Well, Talk has just gotten a talent to make push the limits, which basically makes it easier when it's more difficult because of environmental conditions.
Well, there you go. That might be a good idea.
I think Talk should be taking the lead on this one.
Okay.
Lieutenant Fitz is probably going to end up turning you inside out, so I wouldn't,
Lieutenant Fitz is
Who did
not
we decide was
incompetent.
in charge of this?
She's
She's
not
friendly.
incompetent. Yeah, she's not incompetent, but she is klutzy.
Wait, did both me and Craig play gender bends?
Yeah,
A little bit.
looks like. Yep.
Let's go!
You know, inside of everyone, there's 3 tigers and 2 wolves. I'm sorry about the transporter malfunction.
All right. So
Tupas everywhere.
you guys are taking the shuttle down. So there we go. Let's see. I just need to make sure I'm at my right place. Sorry. So you guys we're switching now to our supporting characters. So just as a reminder, let everyone know who you are playing real quick. Start with Chesh.
Yeah, I'm playing Greg, the
Counselor guy.
counselor. Yep.
Kiri.
I'm playing Lieutenant Bob Dave, the science officer.
Great.
I'm Lieutenant Fitz, the newly boarded engineering officer. Just graduated from Starfleet Academy. Second in her class.
As a lieutenant?
And, pretty useless.
You can't have just graduated. You are a lieutenant.
Yeah, but there's also some nepotism going on. You know how Starfleet works.
It's the J.J. Abrams version of ranking up in Starfleet.
Yeah.
All right, Jordan.
I am Ensign Talk, the Vulcan pilot extraordinaire.
Krrok.
I'm not lieutenant.
Ensign.
Ensign. That's what he
Ensign
is.
Tua.
Yeah, Ensign Tua, and he talks like this.
Yes, he does. Zerolon.
I'm going to be Nurse Ian Rin, and I will do my best not to do the Khajiit speak every time he says something.
Okay.
Khajiit has wares if you have coin.
Khajiit has wares if you have coin.
All
If
right.
the cat dies again.
Could be worse. You could go ubu.
All right. So, in order to get down safely, we are going to need a difficulty 2 daring and con, assisted by the shuttle's sensors and con.
Shuttle.
Is that reduced because of my talent?
No, actually, now it's difficulty 1.
Outstanding.
Shuttles, what'd you say? Sensors and con.
Yes.
I'll use a momentum, and I assume my shuttlecraft operations focus applies.
Yes. All right, so that is 2 successes, and of course the shuttle does nothing because the shuttle never helps because the shuttle sucks. Look,
Sometimes it fails and it gives threat.
by the way, do you know there are actual official stats for this game for the ISS?
For
Really?
this space
Yes.
station?
Yeah, the International Space Station has official stats in Star Trek Adventures.
But is it still in orbit in that far in the future?
But what if you go
Elon
back in
Musk was gonna
time?
Blow it up.
What if you go back
Right.
in time?
True.
Yeah,
True.
Yep,
Could have a
space
time travel
shuttles.
episode back to the.
I believe space shuttles, like NASA space shuttles, like from the 90s, also have official stats in this game.
That's
Nice.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
What about Elon's Tesla?
I don't believe the Tesla has stats, although if it did, I would actually give it like Weapons 3 and give it one weapon, which is just a self-destruct where it just sets on fire spontaneously, because it's a Tesla.
Yeah! Let's
What
go!
about- Is there any stats for Jeff Bezos' penis rocket?
Not that I'm aware of, but I'm sure I could come up with some. Yeah, I think the only real-world crap that it has stats for are the shuttle and the ISS. For $4.99, Savage Mayan Ziggurat Cobra says, Kitty has hyposprays if you have scritches. Excellent, by the way. Love that one.
That made me laugh.
That is great.
All right. So you guys managed to get through what is left of the ion storm, which wouldn't have been a problem for the Lexington, obviously, but the shuttlecraft is much, much smaller. And so you set down actually near the coordinates that the Enterprise listed as their landing site. And so it is actually, once you get that through the ion storm layer, a pretty smooth sailing. And you set down in a rocky area that has it's in a little like valley that you're not too easily spotted by any locals. Yeah, this scene would have been longer if you guys had, failed. So we're going to the next scene. Because you guys didn't fail. Alright, so
Did we ruin your plans?
Away team
No.
winning.
Are you kidding me?
Spontaneous outbreak of competence.
I plan for you to both fail and for you to succeed. It's just that sometimes the reward for succeeding is just we move on with the plot.
Yeah, you're like, well, I wasted a week preparing that. Fuck that shit. Yep, screw.
I will say there was that one time where
That's
I
normal as a
wasted
GM.
like 5 or 6 hours sculpting an alien creature that you guys just never encountered.
See, if it was up to me right now, I would have Dapper just be like, and now lower decks, engage, and then I would play the intro.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about doing cold opens for the next campaign.
Ooh.
Sounds good.
But hey, we'll see what happens. We're not doing it for this campaign because I already have set it up that that's not what we're doing. All right, so
Who's in charge on this away mission, by the way?
Bob.
Bob
which
Dave.
is Chen's.
Bob Dave, got it.
Lieutenant Dave.
Which, considering he's established as a very nervous, kind of like skittish kind of guy, is the perfect person to be in command.
Yeah, I imagine him a bit like Reg.
Yeah, a little bit. He's not quite as socially awkward though.
I'm playing Greg like he's basically Shaggy, but super empathetic.
I'm kind of like Tilly from Lower Decks, but more clumsy.
More or less redheaded though.
Like Zoink Scoop.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, in case anyone has not figured out, Nurse Ian Wren is based off of one of our channel members' names. That's Julian Wren. So congratulations, Julian Wren. You got yourself a supporting character. And of course, the supporting character of Ensign Greg is named for one of our other members, Craig McNeil. So that's
That guy's a douche.
Yeah. So that's why we have an Ensign Greg, because of course Craig's name is Greg in American speak.
Yeah.
It's Greg spelled with a C.
Yes,
Don't worry
there is
about
that too.
It's Krrok.
In the captain's log, we discussed possibly bringing phase rifles.
You did. I will let you still do that. It costs momentum for each one. Who, if anyone, would like phase rifles?
Yeah, the security guy should probably have one.
Yeah, I don't think Fitz should have one because you're gonna get shot.
Do be aware they are an escalation weapon. If you fire it, it does give me a threat.
Yeah, no, I'll stick with me phaser pistol thing.
I think maybe
Lieutenant
just
Dave has security of 1. He probably
Yeah.
doesn't even want 1. Yeah.
Borg Empori says, I hope I get a supporting character at some point. I mean, you probably will. Basically, what I do is I go through the list of members who have not already had supporting characters named after them, and we pick out the name that or the person who needs a supporting character picks out a name that they think would be fun, and we go with it. And also do remember that even after this campaign ends, I have a 46 episode TOS era campaign already planned out. So we got plenty of time to give everyone a
Right, I
supporting
thought the
character.
next one was the TNG episode
TNG.
era.
Oh, did I say TOS? I meant TNG. I'm sorry.
TOS.
I did say TOS. I'm sorry. I meant TNG era. It's actually
That
going to
will
be
longer as well, right?
Yeah, it's actually going to be post TNG era. It's going to take place a little bit after Nemesis. It's going to be running contemporaneously, roughly with Lower Decks. So it's going to start in 2381, and we'll probably...
please have us meet the trios.
That's certainly a possibility, and we'll probably go over the course of I'm going to break it up into seasons, and we're probably going to go a total of 2 years in terms of in-game time over the course of those 4 seasons. Anyway, that's not what's happening right now. What's happening right now is that you find themselves in a barren, rocky landscape. However, we're going to quickly switch to the bridge because Lieutenant Lanford, would you care to scan the surface?
Does Lanford care to scan? Of course Lanford's going to scan. Let me get...
He lives for scanning.
ABS, always be scanning.
Why don't
Yeah,
you
he's
give
when you say scanning, he's like a dog and his tail starts going.
Why don't you give me a reason and science, which can be assisted by the ships? What is it? Sensors and science.
Sensors.
Ooh, guess who gave me an extra threat?
I never roll 20s. I never roll more than a 4.
Well, don't worry about it too much because you did give me a threat, which rough, but so
That's okay. The away team can deal with it.
you find on your scan that you cannot pick up the shuttle, the communicators, and you are detecting a verdant jungle-like environment on the planet.
Captain, the away team has disappeared from my sensors, and the planet is not reading as it should. I'm reading a different environment than reports say.
Can we get a diagnostic of the sensors?
Do you want me to do that as Terran?
Okay, the answer is yes, and it will take several more scenes, so we don't have to worry about it right now.
Okay.
Because like many things in the game, the diagnostic of the sensors is going to happen at the speed required by the plot.
Okay.
So, yep. I am very open on this game about, some things happen as the plot requires them to. Alright, we are back to the surface. And as the ship is dealing with the fact that you guys have all dropped off of sensors, which you do not know, you notice that at a lower elevation there seems to be a village in the distance. One that seems to be roughly at the Bronze Age level of technology, which is surprising, given that when the Enterprise was here just 2 years ago, the native Taurans seemed to be, at a Neolithic level of technology.
Okay, that's fast.
Yeah.
Also, we probably should stay away from them because Neolithic or Bronze Age, still they fall primarily in the Prime Directive. Also, I heard they were kind of hostile, so let's land the shuttle that way.
There is the chance that if they've evolved technologically, they're less hostile than they were.
Yeah, but we still shouldn't meet them because of the Prime Directive, and if they are not less hostile, then we should still be
Oh, you're
more
just
away
being
from them.
you're just being such a negative Nancy. They could be lovely.
No, you
What-
can't greet them. No.
But if
No.
if I could just a little, right? Fine.
All right,
No,
so
we can't violate the Prime Directive just a little bit. Not even for fun.
not even as a treat?
Oh.
No. Why don't we land
No.
that way?
I'm just saying that I'm sure they would have been lovely, but fine.
So you set down out of sight of the village.
Let's not find out.
And
I'm making notes that I'm planning on reporting back to Dr. Tregan and potential HR violations.
you thought it was a ship's counselor. It's actually the HR rep. Dum, dum, dum.
And remember, kids,
HR
HR works for
never
the
on your
company,
side.
not
They-
you.
That's true. They absolutely do.
Do not forget that extra espionage and infiltration tax.
Oh shit! I gotta run. I'll be right back.
Okay. So you guys sit down. You're in a bit of a valley. You can still kind of see the village. Does anyone want to investigate anything?
I'll look through the scope on the laser rifle and just see if they're what they're doing. Like
Finger
if they're
off
moving
the
towards
trigger, I
us.
suppose.
Guns at them right away is a good idea.
No,
No, I'm looking
immediate,
through the
like,
scope.
definitely fingers straight wrapped around the trigger.
Yeah.
Do we not have binoculars?
Did you bring
I
binoculars?
don't know.
As you're looking through the scope, I sit down and slap you on the back and say, "See anything?"
Can the ships? Does the shuttle have sensors that could be useful here?
Potentially.
It's a
What
classic
are you
shuttle,
talking
probably
about?
not.
I mean, it has sensors. They're not great. So through the scope, though, you see various Taurans milling about. They look like the Taurans reported by the crew of the Enterprise. They have humanoid faces with upturned noses, heavy brow ridges, and they're, other than their faces and the palms of their hands, they're covered in a curly brownish fur. They do seem to be slightly smaller than the Enterprise reported, maybe 2.5 meters, not 3. But other than that, they do seem to be going about. However, there seems to be a meeting gathering and people pointing in your direction.
I lower the rifle and I turn. It appears we've been spotted.
That is less
that-
than optimal.
I stand up and start waving. Wait, no! Prime directive, sorry!
They already saw us, so I don't know if it matters.
Just making notes.
Ensign, did they definitively see us, or are they simply moving in our direction?
I'm not sure, but they are pointing directly where we are.
There is now visibly a few little dots in the distance that are approaching your location.
We should probably not be in this location anymore then. At this distance, they probably don't have a good view of us anyways.
Coming to say hello.
That may be correct. However, the shuttlecraft is not equipped with cloaking technology.
They may have seen us land, also.
Perhaps we can stage some sort of distraction to keep them from discovering the shuttle. And ourselves.
Well, I don't have fur, so...
Is there any way we could hide the shuttle, cover it with some plant matter, park it in a cave, something?
It's
We
nice that
are in
you-
a jungle.
No, you're not. You're in a barren, rocky landscape.
Oh, the ship thinks it's a jungle, but it's not a jungle. Or
You-
at least we don't observe a jungle.
You
They
guys,
saw the ship saw a jungle, but we are not on a jungle.
Right.
We're what
Okay.
a planet should be.
But we
Yeah.
don't know that.
Yeah.
Well, we know what we see. We don't know what the ship
Yeah.
So we wanna move the ship behind a big rock.
it is behind
Well-
a big rock. There's big rocks all over the place. You're not going to get more or less behind a big rock anywhere nearby.
Let's be honest. Anytime you're on a planet, you're behind a big rock from at least some perspectives.
True. Unless you're in the middle of the ocean.
I mean, depending on how far away the perspective is.
Yeah, because if you're on the other side of the planet,
That's
if you're on
true.
the other side of the planet, there's a big rock in the way.
Okay. What if it's a gas giant, though? Probably still has a rocky
mean,
core.
Probably still has a rocky core
Yeah.
somewhere.
All right, fair enough.
Right, yeah.
Fair enough. Unless it's a flat planet.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Look, I'm not saying that kind of thing might come up in an episode or so.
What if you were on top of the tallest rock?
Ooh, yeah, good point. You can't be, because you're still on the planet. The planet itself is a rock.
Not if it's not round.
Could be a ring.
Craig, you're going to hate the next episode because there's absolutely a flat world.
Yeah, I might not be there.
And on their planet, like the round earthers are the conspiracy theorists.
No,
Yeah.
no, everyone knows that planets are normally spherical, and this is an artificial construction, but it's very flat.
Like Asgard.
Yeah, kind of. All right, so enough spoilers for next time. What is the plan? Because those dots are turning into identifiable
Our
silhouettes.
leading person isn't here. What's
Well,
the plan?
that would make Lieutenant Fitz in charge since they're the next in the
Yeah.
chain of command. I guess
Well,
I'm assuming Bob Dave is just like panicking.
Well, if they've seen us, at this point, there's not much we can do. We should just act non-threatening.
Lieutenant,
So-
are you suggesting that we violate the Prime Directive because they may have possibly seen us?
Well,
I
not
mean,
just that they have possibly seen us, they're heading directly towards us, so they've definitely seen us.
Well,
And as our turtle-shaped ensign mentioned, they probably saw us land. At this point, I think the Prime Directive's out the window.
we
Not
also might
necessarily.
be in a scenario where they could maybe find the ship and we could not be there and have the ship locked.
Hey, real quick, Savage Mayan Ziggurat Cobra for $4.99 says, but on a flat planet, you can hide behind the elephants. That's true. The elephants that go all the way down.
And the big
Nice,
turtle that
turtles
they ride
all the way
on.
down.
Well, okay, that's a good point. Yes, four elephants on a turtle. Which also, I don't know why, but for some reason the super chat goal is not keeping track, and we have 4, not 2. I'm keeping track of that though. If we hit 10 before
I
the goal
think
expires,
it's tight because the time ran out on it.
The yeah. And it was only
Oh.
accepting certain types of super chats.
well, that was accurate. I meant to set it for 2 hours, so I messed up on that. I will keep track for 2 hours, and if we hit it at the end of 2 hours, then it still counts. My apologies for screwing it up. Here's a drink for Dapper's a professional.
Yeah.
Because what are you gonna do? All right, so one thing you guys didn't know about is that there were in fact already scouting parties, and some Tauran warrior types pop up from behind some rocks that were a good, like 20 meters away. So this is now a much more urgent problem, and one of them hucks a spear that is, like on its own 2 meters tall and tipped with a very sharp-looking bronze bit. And who is going to be the target of this? Let's see. I'm gonna bring out a D6. Get my bag o' dice here. Let's see.
Are we dead yet?
Let's see.
I'll be number 5.
Well, you are number 5 indeed, and I did roll a 5.
Fair enough.
Perfect.
So
You are the one pointing a gun at them.
fortunately,
Well, not anymore.
fortunately for you, the spear goes wide, but it digs itself into the ground with considerable force, and you feel like if you had been in the way of that spear, that maybe your turtle-like carapace would not have been enough to protect you.
Hey, Lieutenant Dave, I think the Prime Directive's kind of not a problem anymore. Would you agree?
Lieutenant, do
Grab
we have
the
permission to open fire?
Yes. Stun, of course, but
There is
Okay.
the valley you're in does go a considerable distance the other way. You could run. There are a lot of them.
we
Running is probably a
should
good
run,
idea.
yes,
We
yes.
are a little outnumbered.
Do you
How
One
have
of
fast
us
does the
is a
turtle run?
turtle.
Yeah.
Well, then we only have to run faster than the turtle. I don't see a problem here.
Look,
No, he's correct.
also I gotta point out
Well,
the
the
rules.
turtle will
Turtle has
also be
armor
fine.
on
We
its
already
back,
watched one of the
so-
things bounce off of him.
The rules also don't technically say that the turtle is slower than any of you.
Correct.
That's just a horrible
Technically also
stereotype.
don't say that he's more heavily armored than we are. So.
Also
Yeah,
true.
we look to the side, and the turtle's already like 400 meters ahead of us. What the hell?
I've seen the video where they glued the little skateboard to the bottom of a turtle. They can move fast.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
They
real
got
quick,
balloons.
real quick, Zumi Tomato, who is a channel member, so that's I think Ensign Zumi Tomato to you. For $5 says, can we all just admit that the Prime Directive isn't a law or a rule or anything at this point? It's really more of a Prime suggestion than a directive. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's true.
yeah.
But at
Look,
this point, it doesn't matter anyway.
Well, so
But
okay.
let's put ourselves in the shoes of Commander Riker for just 1 second. Prime Directive or alien booty?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. The Prime Directive is like any other government rule. It only applies when it's convenient for them.
That's true. And you guys are the government, so
And
Alright,
at this
so-
point in time, stuff
Definitely
would
not the
go much
military,
better
though.
with
No.
excellent to each other.
are y'all
So are
are
we-
y'all
are-
running or are y'all
Yeah.
fighting?
Oh, yeah,
Well, the
running.
turtle's already
Very
gone.
running.
Someone else can shoot.
Okay. So
I wanted to say to at least pick up the spear.
the spear is going to be a pretty big thing for you to pick up.
Yeah, it was like 2 meters tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
yeah.
it made of metal, the whole thing?
The shaft is made of wood, but the tip is made of bronze.
Okay.
So, and it's a fair bit of bronze too.
I still might try, but we'll see later.
Okay. So, you guys start running, and you are
I instantly trip over because I'm Lieutenant Fitz, and then have to scramble up and
sure.
I will help Fitz.
But you come to a shimmering energy field aligned across the valley, and it is basically there are this pursuing torrents behind you, and this shimmering energy in front of you. Would anyone like to scan it? It'll take a daring and science difficulty 2 scan.
Okay.
I guess I should as Lieutenant Fitz. What do you say, daring and what?
Well, daring and science.
Daring, I'd have 12.
Yeah, I'd only have 11, so you go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
You do still have 2 momentum.
Would either temporal mechanics or astrophysics apply to that?
Temporal mechanics apply.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to spend 1 momentum for that, and then we'll see.
Okay. All right, so that is 3 successes. That's 1 more than you needed, so you get that momentum back. And so this has energy similar to the Tilikaal technology that you've encountered before. Specifically, you recognize it from the ship's logs as being very similar to the energy signature that transported the bridge crew over to habitation, earlier this month or so, or last episode.
So if we walk into this, it would maybe whisk us away to safety, or something even worse than this.
Blow us up.
Yep. Could be further peril, could be safety, could be the next scene in the adventure. But for £5, FTFE says Star Trekking across the universe, always going forward, can't find reverse. So, what is the call?
Well, Bob Dave's in charge.
Well,
Lieutenant?
I don't think we should walk into that. It looks very dangerous, and it could put us anywhere.
It would put us away from our pursuers, and therefore in less danger of violating the Prime Directive any more than we already have, Lieutenant.
Getting closer.
It
I
might
agree
put us in
with-
the middle of one of their villages.
I mean,
So
anywhere might put us, dead, but spears definitely put us dead.
I'm gonna go
We-
through it.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
let's
I was about
follow
to follow.
the HR representative.
Okay, so you all
What's the worst that can happen?
jump through the shimmering veil, and we are going to take a quick intermission to let everyone use the bathroom, get new drinks, because I'm out, and we will be right back with the next scene into the heart of Murasaki 312. So stick with us. We will be back in just about 5 minutes.
Into the heart of darkness.
Yes. All right, we are back. Welcome back. I have the entire crew managed to get back on time, which is not always the case. So
My room moved, so now the bathroom and the kitchen are both like within 5 steps of me. I'm not running up and down 3 flights of stairs.
I live in a double wide. Nothing is ever more than 5 steps from me.
So you end up
Oh,
going
my tiny little goblin legs.
through the shimmering veil of energy and find yourself on the streets of what seems to be a Renaissance level technology town, where everything is scaled to be about twice as big as you are used to, because you're on the Taurus II. And people start looking around at you. And you're very quickly surrounded by a large number of guards with swords that are about as tall as an average human.
Did I say so, or did I say so?
Are you still
look
just taking
back.
notes, Jesh?
I look back. Is the thing gone?
One of the guards who's more he has
Hands up.
fancier dress than the rest of them comes forward and says, "Who are you?"
We come in peace. We are from Starfleet.
What is a Starfleet?
I'm
You
Lieutenant
don't know.
Fitz. Who are you?
I'm the captain of the guard.
The guard of what?
The town.
Which town?
I don't know if I need to tell you that yet,
Why not?
because we don't know who you are. But you're very small, which is
I
suspicious.
just told you. I'm Lieutenant Fitz. Hi.
Yeah, you could be lying.
No, that's my name. It says so on my badge.
No, it doesn't.
It does?
It doesn't,
No,
though.
it doesn't.
Our uniforms don't have badges.
Yeah.
There's no name
Take
in
my
that.
own. Lieutenant Fitz has like literally made her own badge.
It's
It
like
says
hand
Fitz.
stitched.
Yeah.
It's like,
And
Lieutenant...
I'm writing down how
yeah,
that might be a
And-
violation of
and,
code.
permanent marker.
So how did we get here?
You came through the veil of reality.
The what?
Veil of reality?
The what?
We don't know what that is.
Well, I'm not the one to explain it to you.
Yeah.
What do we do? It's more small... Are you small visitors?
We're not small.
We are
Small,
You're just
small
big.
is a relative term. We would require a standard of measure in order to answer that question.
Well, you're in our town.
Using that standard, yes, we are small.
But are you like
Town's
the...
just big.
Are you like the small visitors from before?
There was some before.
Yes, we are.
Lieutenant, how could we
probably
possibly
shouldn't
know
admit
that?
to that. We should
Doing
admit
it
that
now.
we're like them. They might be villains.
Well, I guess we do have standing orders for small visitors. You'll have to see Princess Jorak.
Who?
Princess Jorak.
Yeah, who?
She's in charge.
Oh. Yeah, take us to your leader.
Yeah, that's the plan.
I've just always wanted to say that.
Well, that's weird.
You're weird.
I have a sword. Be careful.
I like this guy.
Alright, so you guys go through the town, and there are people milling about, buying and selling things with what seem like oversized gold coins. There are beasts of burden wandering around, animals flitting through the air that are similar-ish to birds. And it looks like a bustling, like, late pre-modern town, like maybe 1400s, 1500s
Just-
Earth.
Just slightly bigger.
Yeah, everything is definitely bigger. All the doorknobs are basically like tall, even if you're in Australia,
So
because Australians have tall doorknobs. In case you don't know, the weird thing about Australia.
Are you telling me that Kevin was right? Tall doors equals giants?
So tall doors with tall doorknobs might equal giants, but if the doorknobs are down at regular height, then probably not. No.
Maybe
Now
they
the
had long
knob
arms?
on my front door is disturbingly far from the side of the door. Is that the same thing?
That's hobbits. Yeah. 'Cause
That's
they
something you should see a doctor about.
I think everything is bigger in Texas.
I have heard that. Maybe this is Space Texas. Maybe that's what's going on.
Spexes.
There you go. So, but yeah, as you're looking around, everything seems like this is just like a town that's been here for a while. There are buildings in various states of like disrepair, where some seem to be new. There's new construction going on. Clearly, this town is more than like a year and a half old, which is about how long ago the Enterprise was here. So
we have to find out if this weird green thing just teleported us to the other side of the planet, where it's an advanced civilization, or if we are actually in the future.
Or another dimension.
I like how everything is sized the way everything feels like it is to me in real life.
Someone give me a science insight roll. Difficulty.
I am science insight. Maybe me.
Inside and science, I have temporal thingy.
That won't help.
I have
12
8.
total.
I have a 10 altogether for those. So
I have a 13.
No, go for it.
Okay.
So, guys, if
Fury is
anything,
really
if anything
quiet.
goes wrong, we have to blame the violation of the Prime Directive on the Enterprise.
To be fair, they did actually violate the Prime Directive against these guys first, so...
yeah, we're just the
Yeah,
secondary,
that's
Prime Directive violation. It's fine.
What was the difficulty on that?
1.
1. Then I won't spend them. Or how many momentum do we have?
2.
2. I'll spend 1.
Okay. Alright, well, you got 2 points of momentum back.
We are rolling 1 today, just because we are not the main characters.
So you notice that the surrounding landscape around the town, in places where you can see past the edge of the town, does seem to closely match the landscape of the barren rocky area you were in before. But there is, like, something has been going on to bring in more water, and clearly this town wasn't there before you went through the veil of reality, as they called it.
All signs point to time travel.
Yeah, are we able to scan for any kind of tachyon particles or anything?
Sure, you can scan for tachyon particles, but you don't detect any.
Are you sure?
Yes. I'm
Yeah.
the one in charge of whether or not there are tachyon particles, and I promise there aren't
What
any.
about chronotron particles?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Alright, so you eventually get to a rather palatial-looking building with lots of big arches and statues outside. And you're led up to some stairs that aren't super easy to climb. You're gonna have to, like, hoist yourselves up or be carried by the guards.
Like I said, just
I
like
just
real life.
I reach my arms up to one of the guards and go up.
I was gonna say uppies, uppies.
The guard looks down and says, "You are small."
You are small, you're not a child.
Alright, fine. He picks you up by, like,
Yay!
by the back of your uniform and just lifts. It's not a fun
Just
trip.
like real life.
Yeah. So you all get grabbed by the back of uniforms and hoisted to get up to the top of the steps. And then you're put down, not harshly, but also not with any particular care.
This could have
Hey! Just because you've got a sword,
Just because
Big
I have a
sword.
sword, what?
I mean, thanks for the lift.
Yep.
Idiot.
DM Carl Epsom Wing says, this doesn't appear to be Salem, Massachusetts, does it? No, it does not. I've been
We
there,
ain't in
by the way.
Kansas anymore.
You know what Salem, Massachusetts is full of now? Wicca shops.
Sabrina the Witch.
Lots of Wicca shops.
Yeah, lots of Wicca shops. It's all over the place. I wore my fourth Doctor get up there one Halloween. And I
Fourth
got
Doctor was 50 years old this year.
Nice. And I got my picture taken with a person in a Dalek costume that was actually really, really well done.
Nice.
That
That's
sounds
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
So, hey, Dapper, I want to quickly run my Doctor Who theory by you. And that is that the Doctor is everyone in the universe.
He's just slowly going to regenerate into all of them.
Yep.
Okay. I mean,
Maybe.
I can see it. I don't know if it's true, but I can. It doesn't seem completely off the walls.
No, I think it fits in with the Timeless Child stuff.
Yeah. Zoomy Tomato says Tom Baker's my favorite. He's definitely got one of the best costumes, and also Halloween time in Salem, Massachusetts is a time of year when that is actually a comfortable costume to wear because it's a very, very hot costume. I don't know if you've ever worn it, But like, it's got like
Wait.
the big coat, the huge
Layers,
scarf.
layers.
It's got the vest.
Wasn't Tom Baker killed by some gangbangers though in the movie?
No, that was a later Doctor. That was like
Which
the 6th Doctor or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Paul, what's his face, was the 7th, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you're led through the large doors, which in fact do demonstrate that the mud flood is an accurate depiction of history. Because otherwise, why would there be such big doors on things like churches and cathedrals?
Giants.
Yeah.
Yes.
And inside, there are many wonderful mosaics on the floors and ceilings, including depicting the Taurans digging out the Grand Canyon to create the moon.
Wait, what?
The leftover crystal.
Yep. It might not be your moon, but it's a moon.
Did they fill it with helium?
Did they carve a Majora's Mask face on it?
They did not, but it's also hard to see whether or not they filled it with helium.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah, there are no good mosaic stones to represent helium.
It's true. So, you're eventually brought through a series of corridors and rooms into a room that seems kind of like a throne room. There's certainly a big chair on a slightly raised platform on which is a Tauran wearing a rather fancy gown, which you presume is the princess. And yes, she is just as furry as all of them.
Three.
Yep.
Hi.
Do the locals do any active obeisance when
Yeah.
they enter the presence of the princess?
They all give a curt little nod from basically the mid-waist down a few degrees.
Then
So,
Top
I will
will
imitate that.
do the same. Yeah.
Yeah, and so Will Fitz, but she also falls because she bends a bit too far forward, and then just looks up and goes, "Hi."
I will resist the cat urge to tell her she's sitting in my chair, and I will go ahead and bow.
Okay.
You could sit on her lap.
If
So-
you fits, you fits.
The princess says, "Ah, I've been told that you are the small visitors."
Big.
Yes.
Seems accurate.
Apparently that is a thing.
Well, welcome.
We're not sure how we got here.
I've been informed that you came through the Veil of Reality.
Right. Yeah. So, what exactly is that?
Oh,
I'd
that's
love
what
to know.
that's what connects all the different versions of Taurus II.
The different versions of Taurus II.
Huh.
But Lieutenant Dave,
Yes.
did you ever read about the when Kirk and the Enterprise went to that alternate universe?
Mm,
Captain.
There's no
I
captain
don't
here.
think-
No. Captain Kirk.
Oh,
Yeah.
He's
right.
the captain, right?
Yeah. Did you read about when Kirk and the Enterprise went to that other universe?
No, I don't think so.
Oh yeah, you're useless, aren't you? Well, they did, and I think that might be like this.
Fitz
don't
is friendly. like,
read. I don't-
Obnoxiously
don't-
friendly. That's her one trait. That is the one established character trait of this person.
Yeah, but Fitz has spent too much time around Shelby by this point.
Yeah, no, she's still nice. She's still nice to Dave, but she understands that Dave wouldn't get it.
No, I don't like to read about the Enterprise. If I want to read adventure stories, there are better ones out there.
Oh, but Dave, Lieutenant Dave, Kirk,
No,
it was such a
You
great
can't tell
leader.
me that all that stuff really happened. Kirk is just exaggerating a lot.
Captain.
Yes, yeah, we know he's a captain, but he's not here, so we don't have to. Okay, Lieutenant Dave. So what happened was, Kirk and his Enterprise went to an alternate universe where there was a different.
So hold on. We're having this completely sidebar conversation,
In front of the
ignoring the
princess.
royalty
Yes.
that summoned us to her throne room.
Yes.
That's okay. Just wanted to clarify.
So,
Me and her are having a pleasant conversation. I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah. So I've tried to have a conversation with Dave about what's going on, but he's a conspiracy theorist, so he doesn't believe about Captain Kirk going to the alternate universe.
The Enterprise is flat.
Dave, I think we should have a talk when we get back. But anyway, why is the turtle talking to the princess?
Because no one else is.
Well-
A podcast is a thing.
Oh,
No.
Worse.
Don't tell her any
You're just telling her about podcasts. I listen to Joe Rogan.
We came through the veil of reality thingy, but we don't know how it works and we don't really know what it is. But where we are from, I think this area is still in the Bronze Age.
Or
There are lots of
Neolithic Age.
people with long spears.
what's the Bronze Age?
It is
Well,
a
it
time
is-
period in history where they primarily work in bronze for their metals, as opposed to iron.
Oh yeah, there is that bronze using village on one of the Taurus IIs, isn't there?
Do you
How
So
many
we
Taurus
probably
IIs
came
are
through
there?
that.
Everybody just has
Well, I'm sorry. There's too many. Let's start with we'll start with the small one with the bits of metal in her face. That's Fitz.
Well, how many of your planets are there?
Well, let's see. There's this one. There's the one where they don't really have much in the way of buildings or technology. It's 2. There's the one where they really like the blood sport.
Oops.
There's the one where the air is bad. And there's the one with lots and lots of plants.
Are you able to travel between these freely?
Well, freely, yes. Reliably, no.
So
Are
we are
we-
lucky that
Is-
we ended up here.
Is the Veil of Reality in the same place on all of these versions?
Well, the topology does change a bit, but it seems like it's pretty much in the same place. The sun traces the same path in the sky in each of them, and there's always a bit of mountains nearby.
So if we were to enter the Veil repeatedly, we could eventually arrive at the version of Taurus II we preferred.
Assuming you kept surviving.
Have we tried to contact our ship, guys?
Not yet.
Maybe we should do. Lieutenant Dave, would you like me to contact the ship?
Yes, at least try. If this is a temporal thing, then they'll probably not be there, but it won't hurt.
So Zumi Tomato says, so they use the same terms for metals? I am going with the assumption that the universal translators are doing a good enough job.
I was
I
mid-typing
like the
Universal
idea that
Translator
we're
into the
going to
chat.
send a communication into space, and it's going to be the one that draws the Enterprise here.
Alright, so I open my communicator and say, Lieutenant Fitz to USS Lexington. Hello?
There is
Hi.
no response.
I gently tap it on a rock. Hello?
Wait, you're in a throne room. There aren't just rocks around.
It was a precious rock they've got somewhere.
Oh.
And Nev was looking at me like, why are you hitting that precious rock? There's Dave, there's no one there.
The princess
Well,
turns
If
to...
this is a
Lexington
temporal
is-
thing, it would make sense. If this is a parallel dimension thing, that also might make sense. We'll have to find out what's going on here.
The princess turns to one of her attendants and says, okay, I need you to fetch 6 cages. These are going to be the highlight of my menagerie this year.
Hi,
Crinkle
Lieutenant Fitz here.
song
Your
starts
Majesty,
playing.
Lieutenant Fitz here. I don't want to be in a cage. Would it be okay if we went back to the Veil of Reality and tried to just go?
Well, I mean, I guess it wouldn't be a problem, but, you know, I like when various other nobility visit that they get to see my wonderful menagerie, and I feel like you would be 6 great additions. I mean, no one else has small visitors.
That might be true, but you don't have to keep us in cages for that. I mean,
Well, I mean, don't
can
worry.
just, like-
I'm going to construct a bigger group cage for all of you eventually. I just don't have it yet.
Would it not
Tell
be
you what,
more entertaining to your guests if we were able to interact with them freely.
No, they might.
Your
They
Majesty-
might squish you.
Your Majesty, that sounds lovely, and we're honoured. We're just going to take a minute outside and have a talk about who's going to be the prime display, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Don't be
Guys,
silly. You don't have to go anywhere. The guests will figure out who's the prime display.
no,
I
really want to.
finish telling her about my podcast.
That's
yeah,
okay. You will have plenty of time because I'll come visit when you're in the cages.
I'm slowly moving towards the door and beckoning
New
for everyone to follow
orders.
me.
All right, hold on.
Everyone run for their lives, and then
Is everyone
Dave turns
saying
around
that
and
you
sprints
don't?
into a random direction.
Is everyone saying you don't want to be in cages?
Everyone's already started running.
I
No.
don't care.
Well, there's only one door, and it's definitely barred by guards.
We would
Yeah.
like to not be in cages, yes.
I ran into the door.
However, we would we would find a cultural exchange to be amenable.
Oh, a cultural... That does sound fun. Okay. I'll tell you what. If you can sing well enough, I will count that as a cultural exchange, and you don't have to be in cages.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. This is going to be a difficulty 4.
Does that count?
This is going to be a difficulty 4 command and or presence and command and presence, whatever. Check.
Ooh.
Anyone may assist, and you currently have 3 momentum.
I only have a 9 for that. Who's got higher?
In presence and command, I have 8. Dave is really good at.
I have
being in
10.
charge.
I'm not good at that.
Well,
I have 10 also.
Well, it's either Chesh. What's yours?
We made a bunch of
I
side
have-
characters,
I
but
have-
we've never made one that's a command staff side character.
Because we
Yeah.
don't need.
all right.
No,
well,
definitely.
so
What's
here's
Wait, what's the turtles' command and presence?
9.
Well, hold on.
Right.
So the returning characters, did everyone buff their characters?
Yes.
No.
Because if someone didn't buff their characters,
Mhm.
perhaps we could, because one of the ways you can buff a returning character is to give them a focus, right? So we
Mhm.
could give somebody a focus in like choir.
Yeah. Though to be fair, a focus
Choir practice every
in
Sunday.
a skill that you are bad at is not really useful.
It's more useful than not having it.
A +1 in that skill would be more useful than having the focus.
It's not. Listen, we don't have options here, dude.
No.
I don't know what you're nitpicking.
No, our option is to go into the cage and be happy.
Who has the highest command or presence?
I've got 8.
I have 9.
Yeah, but also your command is only 1 there.
My command
It's-
is also 1. I have a total of 10.
Well, okay, here's,
Yeah, I've
here's
got
so
9 in
presence
total.
of
Alright.
7 and
do
command of
remember
1.
you do have 3 momentum, and all of you get an assist on this. All of you get to roll command and presence.
Right. Well, I think Chesh should roll it first, and then everyone else assist.
Okay.
All right, Chesh, do you want to spend any momentum?
Yeah.
How much?
All of it.
Yes.
I'll give you 2 dice. If you want, you can give me 3 momentum and get a 4th dice. Or sorry, a 3rd dice.
I'll take it. I'll just take 2. You said it'd give me 3 dice total?
That will give you 4 total.
I'll take 4 total. That's fine.
Okay.
I do have a focus.
Oh.
That I would like to use. It's called team building.
I will let you
It's
use that
about
focus.
doing things as a group.
I will let you use that focus.
Yeah!
Mhm.
So the rest of us assist with 1 die, yeah?
All right, you guys ready?
I
1
rolled
and a 2 and a 3 and a 4.
Hey, Bob, Dave, good job.
Hey, look at that. That is 2, 3,
Perfect
4,
pitch.
5, 6 successes. So while not everyone is really very helpful, Princess Jorok says, "Oh, that was lovely. I quite enjoyed that. All right, I'll tell you what. You can. Well, first, would you like to have like a meal here or anything before you're escorted back to the Veil of Reality?"
Yes.
Food is always good.
I
Is the
think-
meal
I
going to
think
end
that
up
is
with us
a-
in the cage anyway?
No, I've already promised to let you go.
I
Okay.
think that is a. I think that is that is appropriate for a cultural exchange.
I'm
So speaking
allergic
of
to
food-
nuts, kiwi, dairy, gluten. Is that okay?
I don't know what gluten is.
Oh. Well, just don't
So
serve it to
nobody's
me.
actually allergic to it.
So-
It's
so
in
you
this.
want-
You can utilize your tricorder.
Yeah.
You want
can check
plants.
the food before we eat it.
All right. Well, she turns to another one of her attendants and says, "Fetch all the high chairs that we normally use for children and put them to either side of my place at the table. And we might need to bring some extra pillows just in case anyone's a little bit too short. And let's see. We'll use finger food on this one, just so we don't have to try to figure out how to get tiny little eating utensils. But yes, fetch the high chairs and
Dr.
extra
Tragan
pillows."
told me about this time where they had these little pins that they got Commander Shelby to use on
No,
Pissed about it.
Commander
It's
Shelby told me
bizarre.
that's a
Apparently,
lie
they
and it
have
never
Burger King
happened.
Whoppers here.
Okay. DM Wing is asking a good question. Was it row, row, row your boat that you sang?
Yes.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Definitely.
We did it in
sure.
rounds.
That's the only way to do it.
Row,
Probably.
row, row your boat.
All right.
The reason I got a 0 is because I was too slow.
All right.
Stupid
So
turtle.
after a little while, you're brought into a banquet hall, and there are indeed high chairs, and there are servants nearby who are willing to hoist you into them
Ooh.
as you sit at this very, very tall table. And it's set with a bunch of large plates, but what you get looks suspiciously like tea saucers.
Do we
And-
But
break
they're still
that are the size
massive.
of our heads?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
they're the size of dinner plates, but when
Large
you look
dinner plates, more like serving plates.
But when
to
you
us.
look at Princess Krrok, who has a cup of tea, her saucer looks to be very similar in design to your plates.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I'm
that's
okay with that.
I think it would be very important that after this we do a debrief. I think we should do some trust falls.
No. I'm
What do you mean no?
I always
I
land on my
really
feet, it's
think
fine.
we should
Fitz would
establish
be
trade
so for
relations.
that.
You're not
character,
playing
Frank.
Shelby right now. You're playing a completely
Right,
different
yeah.
person.
Oh yeah,
I think
Fitz
we
here's
should
trust
Yay,
falls
establish
on
trust
the
trade
falls.
ground.
Oh, I
with this
can't
planet.
wait.
Can you imagine the size of their steaks?
All right,
Oh my
so
god, yes.
there are
Yay!
numerous dishes brought out, some of which seem to be some kind of roast animal. There are greens in a vinegar and salt and sugar, and then unidentifiable spices that are brought out. There are some baked goods that seem similar to bread, which probably have some protein, kind of like gluten in them, but who knows? They are in fact non-toxic, so you may safely eat them if you wish. And Princess Krrok says, "So you're the second group of small visitors. Why do you keep
Could you-
coming?"
Could you
Who
tell
was
us? Yeah, sorry. You.
Who was the first group, and when did they arrive?
Oh, they arrived. Let's see. Looks like about a year and a half, 2-ish years ago.
May I ask, did one of the small visitors have ears shaped like mine?
I don't know specifically.
Did one of them talk like this?
I don't know, but I haven't heard any reports of that. Look, here's what we know. Small
Was
is
A
small.
Scottishman with them.
I don't know what a Scottishman is, but maybe.
Let her finish before we explain Scottish.
Yeah, that's going to take a while.
So what I know is that there were a group of less than a dozen, but more than half a dozen small visitors who came, and they landed on the lower technology part of Taurus II. And they were actually found primarily not by the village, but by a nomadic band of marauders who like to sometimes attack the village. And they themselves were attacked, which is unfortunate. And we only really know about them because, well, unfortunately, we found 2 of them stuck in the dirt for some reason. Do you know why they were stuck in the dirt, actually? Oh, no, they were quite
What-
dead.
Oh,
these-
okay.
Did these visitors look like us, or were they different species, or?
Well, I only saw them as a pile of bones, but they look like they could have had bones like yours.
When you say they were stuck in the dirt, can you elaborate?
I mean, they were several units down in the dirt, and there were some big stones piled near their heads on top of the dirt.
They were dead and
They might
buried.
have been buried, yeah.
Yeah, they don't. Did they move at all?
I mean, after they were dug up, yes. They
No,
were...
no, on their own without you doing it.
Oh, no. They were a pile of bones.
Right,
Yeah,
so they were dead.
They were dead.
Yeah, they were dead.
What did you do with the bones?
I think they're actually on display in the Capitol Museum.
Oh, I want to check that out.
Why?
Why not?
That could be instructive as
because
to
then
telling
we could
us.
check how old the bones are and find out if this time, if this is a temporal.
Why
or
is
dimensional.
because this is Chesh and his skeletons is
Yes, but this isn't Trigun.
Yeah, but I think I personally still want to find out if this is a temporal thing or a dimensional thing, and if we check the bones, we might see that, or we might have a way to.
It's clearly
Especially if we find out that they're potentially from, like, if their time signature doesn't match ours.
So you think the veil of reality might connect to
If
different
they are-
periods
if
in
they
time
are,
rather than different
about
realities?
18 months old, then we know that they landed on this version and got dimensionally
Sorry.
transported. But if the bones are like 300 years old, then we know that the technologically less developed version is actually in the past,
Well,
I'd say.
we did find the bones. It wasn't us who found the bones. It was the villagers. And they were offered a rather hefty sum of copper and tin in order to give up the bones so that we could have them.
Could we potentially
So they
talk
were
to the
transported
villagers?
through the veil of reality.
I'm sorry, too many of you were talking at once.
You're in charge.
So the bones themselves were transported through the veil of reality after they were found. It's not like you found them in the dirt.
No.
that
They were
complicates.
in with the villagers, not with us.
Okay.
They'd be somewhere under
But
the street if they were in our version of Taurus II.
I would still like to scan them, but that complicates things.
Well, I can't guarantee your safety outside of the town.
That is, yeah, that also complicates things.
Well, I don't think we need to go outside of the town to see the.
Well, we need to go outside of the
Museum.
town if we want to go to the capital.
It's true.
Oh, okay. The museum is in the capital.
Are there more than one locations for the entry into the Veil of Reality, or is this the only one?
Just the one. In fact, the reason the town exists is to facilitate trade through the Veil of Reality. We are, in fact, a trade town. You might not have noticed, but this area is actually pretty barren. We can't even grow our own food, but we have lots of merchants nearby, or in the town, who will travel back and forth. And
If you
also,
trade
of course,
between the different
mercenaries.
versions, do you not trade technology between these different versions?
Well, sometimes. In fact, the village with the people with the lesser technology, if you will, the only reason they even have bronze tools and things like that is because we bother to give it to them. But in order to make sure that we don't have any, say, invasions through the Veil of Reality, this version of Taurus II, which seems to be the most advanced, has a rather strict policy of limiting which goods we are allowed to trade, and we won't trade anything like steel or processed iron, but gold, silver, copper, tin, zinc, those are all fine.
Well, that explains
Also
the
foodstuffs.
advancements that we saw.
How recently did you provide them with the bronze technology?
Let's see. It was a few years ago. There was a new law passed.
Merchants are able to go back and forth. Maybe they have a better way of traveling to the ones they want to go.
Oh, they don't.
They have to be able to get back.
They just keep checking.
Does the veil randomly change to where it connects?
It's always a question, and it's always unfortunate when they end up in one of those gladiatorial arenas.
Do all members of the group who enter the Veil end up in the same world? Or if we were to return to the Veil, would there be a chance that we would be split apart?
If they all go in a short period of time. We don't know exactly how it works, but our natural philosophers suspect that once one person enters through the Veil, it will have a stable connection to one version of Taurus II for at least long enough to let a good group of 40 or 50 people through.
Lieutenant, I recommend that we find a way to reestablish contact with the Lexington, perhaps by entering back and forth through this Veil until we return to the right version.
Probably have to get back to our version where the Lexington is in orbit, yeah.
Yes, and then we can let them know that there appears to be an interdimensional gate on this planet.
Yes.
Just a question.
Then we also should be prepared to
Oh,
land in
I'm sorry.
with the bad
The
air.
strange shelled one wants to say something.
Yes. How far do birds encounter this, or only things on the ground?
Well, the Veil's only so big. And we built a special little enclosure for it, as you saw when you came in.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure the birds, I guess, might go through.
Before we enter, we should take readings of the portal to determine its energy signature and see if it matches that of Tilikaal relics.
Well, Dave already did, and yes, it did. However,
Well done, Dave.
one thing you didn't notice is anything that was even remotely identifiable as Tilikaal ruins or architecture.
Perhaps that's on a different version.
Yeah.
Maybe that is in the place with the bad air where they don't go.
Well, would you like to go back through it?
Yes, I think we should head back through.
Yes,
We should, yeah.
definitely. But we should be prepared for the Bloodsport arenas. And when you say there's a place with bad air, what does that actually mean? Does it only smell bad, or will it kill you? And how fast do we have to go back, or can we protect ourselves some way?
Well, I know that we can't survive in it for much more than a day or two. I don't know what it would do to you.
So
but
it sounds like we'll have time to get back.
At least not, you have to hold your breath immediately or you will die.
Oh yeah, certainly not that bad.
Okay.
Can I
let's
roll
be careful.
some kind of check to see if this person is being even honest with us at all?
Yeah, I mean, you can use a insight and command.
Okay, well, I'm gonna try. I have a focus in politics.
It might work.
No.
How about a focus in psychology?
Politics is 90% lying.
All right. I'm not going to use any momentum for this because I don't think this is terribly important, so I'm just going to try not to crit fail.
You might.
Is the princess lying to us about what's going on? That's not important. We don't care.
Yeah, whatever.
All right. Well,
you did well.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a couple momentum for that. And no, it does not seem like she is lying.
All right. I just, as I'm paying attention to what's going on and watching the way people are reacting to her and just keeping an eye on things.
So at the very least, she believes what she's saying.
Yes, she could be wrong, but she's not lying.
Sounds good.
Well, would you like to go back?
Let's head back to the Veil and see which reality it takes us to.
Well, that is going to be so you get to the Veil, and the guards are surrounding you in like a line. They're not like pointing swords or anything at you. They're just sort of escorting you towards the Veil. And as you go through the Veil, I will spend 12 threat.
Hey, what? No, huh? Yeah.
And you
So,
find
guys, that
yourselves...
was the end of this campaign. We've all just exploded into bits of subspace.
No, it's okay.
Even-
We're just lower decks characters.
Yeah, even if that were
we're
true, it
just
wouldn't
5
matter.
characters,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
But we could literally TPK and it
Also-
would change nothing.
The rules literally say he can't do direct damage to us. He can
It's
just put us
true.
In
next
the
to the
gladiatorial
volcano, he
combat,
can't
which
put
is
us
he's about to
into the
put us
lava.
in and kill us
So,
all.
you...
yeah, he can't
Yeah.
kill us instantly, but he can put us in a situation that does kill us.
in
Yes, that
space.
is
You will die in 5 seconds. Oh, shit.
So, you are in a pitch black room, and you can hear all around you
I hear voices.
sounds of clashing metal and voices.
Lieutenant, I think we
sounds
landed in
like
the
a boss
gladiatorial
fight.
I
ring.
think we're in the arena one.
Should we
I
go
just-
back?
So yeah, let's try to go back through the thingy as fast as possible.
Well,
It's like that Homer Simpson
Where
meme
is
with
it?
him going back into the hedge.
real quick, I would like everyone
Oh, good.
give me a difficulty 2 fitness and security check.
Oh
Fitness,
yay!
security.
So,
And what was the difficulty again?
2.
2. Okay.
Do we have momentum?
You do have 2 momentum, or sorry, 4 momentum.
I want to spend one.
Okay.
I did all right.
Alright, so let's see. Who failed? It looks like
Looks good.
just Talk.
Jordan.
Okay. Talk takes 2 points of stress as a trap door opens, causing you all to fall about 4 meters and then down a slide into an arena.
We should have gone back out.
So,
Right.
and
All
then
right, guys, this is
also-
going to be our next team building exercise.
Did,
Okay.
did anyone roll 3 successes? I'm not seeing anyone who has.
It doesn't look like it.
Only
No.
2.
Okay, so you find yourself dumped into an arena, and there are drums beating around, and you're surrounded by Taurans in shifts and togas in the stands. At the opposite end of the arena from you is a Tauran with a resplendent headdress edged with feathers and plated in gold. And he holds up a fist, and the drums stop. He says, "Who are you? Are you children?"
Yes,
No, we are
Yes.
small.
we are small children who fell down and need to be sent home, please. We are tiny and unarmed and can't hurt you at all.
Where did all of your hair go?
I have. Oh, I have hair.
Yeah, we because we're too young, we haven't grown our hair yet.
That isn't a thing.
I have plenty of hair. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
They're
There-
lying.
There was an
Wearing
accident.
costumes.
There was an accident with a contraceptive in a time machine.
I don't know what that means.
Okay, good.
Can we
Wearing
go, please?
costumes.
Thank you.
You could go, I suppose. Who are you
We are
really?
not worthy opponents.
We're travelers through the veil, but we're also very tiny and small and squishy and would not make for good entertainment.
Wait, are you small visitors?
Yes.
Yes.
Interesting. Why are you here?
We're
'Cause we
trying to
fell
get
down a trap.
home.
Yep, there was a trapdoor and a veil and a lady with a big headdress, and I'm scared.
Fitz, can you maybe try and call the ship because we don't know where they're gonna be?
Lieutenant Fitz to Lexington.
No response.
Bang, bang, bang. Hello.
Not this
I
one.
don't think it gets better when you hit it.
I think I broke my communicator.
So, what is it that you all want? Because I feel like
go
it
home?
wasn't to to go home.
Yes, please.
There is a different version of Taurus II that we are trying to reach.
Yeah, obviously.
Yes.
So you know about the veil?
Yes, I know. Why would I put a trap door around the veil if I didn't know about it?
To be
Well,
fair,
okay.
that's a pretty good
Yeah.
plan. I like that plan. Putting a
Yeah,
trapdoor around it is pretty smart.
Very smart. Very smart.
You're very clever and wonderful and big. Can we please go?
I will make you a deal.
Oh, okay.
I will give you all something, and you will all give me something. And if you survive what you're all going to give me, you can go home.
I tell you what, this can be our next team building exercise. We're pretty good at row, row, row your boat.
Right, guys, and a 1, and a 2, and a row, row, row
Nope.
your boat.
Stop.
What?
Why don't
Wait,
we
what?
ask him what he wants first?
But the other one wanted singing, so...
Here is
I mean,
what I will give you.
Yes.
You may all ask me a question if you would like. Each of you may
Okay.
ask one question, and I will endeavor to answer it as honestly as I can. And then, we'll see what I want from you.
Okay,
I'll start
One.
with the shelled one. He was the one who was honest.
Well, are we going to be fighting you
No.
or something else?
Nope, that was your question. Savage Mind Ziggurat Cobra for 199 says, we have alien lice and had to shave our heads, except that they have hair on their heads. It's the rest of their body. Alright.
They were the other lies.
Next, it will be the strange one with metal face. He points at Fitz.
hi,
Hi.
so I get one question, right?
Oh, yes you do,
can-
but that is your question. Next,
No, I haven't asked anything, I was talking to myself!
you said right as a question.
Myself, oh no!
Alright, I will select... that one, and he points at Lieutenant Dave.
What do you want?
Entertainment. Alright. The one with the pointy ears.
Will this entertainment be violent?
Absolutely. Alright. Which of the other two? Yanren. Or, sorry, it doesn't say Yanren, but he points at Yanren.
What can we do to skip this part?
Nothing. And last... You. And he points
How
at
do you
Craig.
feel?
I generally feel pretty happy. It's a wonderful day.
How are you today?
We don't normally get
Good.
small visitors. All right. Well, that is what you got
Now
from
as a
me.
kid.
I would like for you
I'm
to
making notes.
you two, or you, the group of you, you should select 2 champions.
Not me.
I'd rather go home.
Well,
I
Ensign
want
Tua
to-
will certainly be one. And
want-
if no one else is going to volunteer, then Talk will step forward. I don't know if he's the best one, but Talk's doing it. Talk will do it.
Well, but then Lieutenant Fitz does several backflips and a bunch of karate moves, and everyone looks at her and she's like Neo or something.
And she doesn't fall over?
Yeah, she's actually turns out that she's like a black belt in every martial art available.
Tell you what, give me a fitness security check with a threat range of maximum threat range. This is going to be difficulty 3.
Suddenly Dapper has 12 threat again.
Let's see what we get.
I did it.
Did you? I'm not seeing it.
So
Lieutenant Fitz.
2 and a
1, 2.
7.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay. So, alright, you do manage to make some cool little backflips.
Well, I guess it's gonna be the turtle and the engineer.
Alright.
Sounds like it.
You...
I will walk up and pat them both on the back. I will do my best to put you both back together after this.
Don't worry, this is a good team building exercise. You two are gonna work as a team, and we will be sure that we have signs and cheer you on.
Alright, so... Here is the rules. 1. This is going to be an unarmed combat. So get rid of your weapons if you have any.
I instantly throw them away.
I drop my
Well-
pistol on the floor and it goes off and nearly shoots me in the foot.
The next rule is that if you defeat my champion, you can get whatever boon you desire. If you do not win, well, then I'm going to toss you into the Veil of Reality.
That's what
But
we want.
Oh, that's what we want
don't
anyways.
say that.
No, that what a cruel and unusual punishment.
Oh dear! Don't want that to happen. No.
If, however, you do not put up a good fight, as judged by me, rather than either of those options, I will feed you to my pets.
That doesn't sound great.
I had a cat once.
Did its breath smell like cat food?
Quite often.
Hey, I resent that remark.
Do you accept my terms?
Dave,
Do we have a
should
choice?
Yeah.
Not really, no.
I guess so. Yes.
All right.
Ready my claws.
All right. So,
I have claws.
the two champions should place their tokens somewhere on this map. The grids squares here are in fact going to just be our zones because I don't
Where
really
am I?
care to do otherwise.
I don't see myself. What is going on?
You need to drop your token
Whoa!
on the map.
But I've done that.
I have edited his token, and it's huge.
Yeah, it is. Oh, I'm
I
on
don't
the
even
wrong
have a
page.
name on there for some reason. It's not showing me.
Wait, that looks like a U.
Can we others
There is a
also put
token
our
there.
tokens on the map so that we can see what's going on, or?
You can't. Can you not see what's going on?
Seems to be weird.
I
Let
can
me
see it.
refresh.
I
Oh,
only
no.
see brown. See
I would
lots
like to
of
point out while they're figuring this out that we are 6 out of 10, and we have about 3 minutes left on the timer for the goal. So if you want to put any super
Yeah.
chats in to reach the goal, we only need 4 more.
Yeah, 4 doors.
Do it,
4
guys.
more.
All right. So,
No,
that.
I cannot add myself to the.
Well, we're gonna use this right here as you.
Okay, cool.
All right. So put it where you would like in the arena. I need to open up the stats on this thing. I mean, it's a Tauren. It's basically a Tauren in a loincloth made of leather with a chainmail front to it, which is
Sounds
not
wonderful.
actually. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Pretty sure I went on a date with someone else once.
who could have made this cool arena map with the physically correct shadows?
Me.
I did it in Blender. Thank you. Yeah.
Did you do it in Blender, or did you make Blender do it for you?
I mean, I don't know what the difference is between those two.
Yeah,
Did
kind of
you
the same
put
thing.
all those blocks with the shadows there by yourself, or did you set up a nice algorithm to do that?
Set up a nice algorithm.
Yes, we
The flattery isn't going to make any of these checks any easier, by the way.
It
Dapper,
doesn't
you're a
hurt
wonderful,
either.
handsome man, and I think I wish I was like you more.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you need Blender lessons, let me know. But in the meantime, who's taking the first turn?
Go on, Turtle.
Alright. I'm a little far away, but I should have thought of that earlier, so it's fine. I will move into this square. And I will just... Actually, I'll try to move into that.
All right, take a fitness and security check to see how far you get.
Fitness and security.
Yeah, you can get there.
Alright. I move there.
Okay.
We're gonna have to work together here. We're gonna have to try and split his attention, I think.
All right, I will spend a threat to get an extra die.
Cheat.
Let's see. Okay. So this one tries to punch at Lieutenant Tua. Lieutenant Tua, why don't you give me a, let's see, a daring and security check.
Dapper, are we not supposed to be visible in the corner?
I don't understand the question.
On the stream?
Oh yeah, you should be. I
Usually-
don't know why you're not.
Drink for Dapper's a
Who
profession.
knows?
There you are. Now you are.
Yes.
Okay. I'm rolling the thing.
All
got a
right. Well, unfortunately, you should have done better, because that means that yeah, he's getting you.
Bonk.
So
But he's a turtle. He'd be fine.
you take 3 points of stress and are knocked to the ground.
Good enough.
All right. So it is now. Let's see. Fitz's turn.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna move. Ooh, wait, no, I'm gonna try, but my there's something wrong with my roll 20. It's not letting me move the token or interact with anything anymore.
All right.
Oh, hey, where'd it go? You did it. What happened? What? This crazy magic is this? Right, I'm gonna go over here, and I'm gonna try and taunt it to make it come towards me.
Is it working for you now?
It is, yes. I moved my character.
So you're gonna try to taunt it. Give me a presence and security check on that one.
And I'm gonna spend a momentum as well, actually.
Okay. All right. So that does not work.
Whoa! Fuck!
Yeah, that doesn't work even a little bit.
It just kind of like looks at me like, what the fuck?
But it is now the player's turn again. Who's going first?
So we're back at the top.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it
Turtle.
doesn't.
I'll go first.
Okay. What's the plan?
I'm gonna try to hit him with my claws.
All right. You gonna spend any momentum or anything?
Uh,
You have 1 or 2 left. Sorry.
we have 2. I'll spend 1. Why not? So that's daring and security, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
I got 2.
I will spend 1 threat to take another die. And let's see. I also got 2, but tie goes to the aggressor, which is you. So roll your unarmed damage.
Woohoo.
All right.
Be more
The
aggressive.
weapons aren't set up. So is it just 3?
It is 1 plus your security.
1 plus security, which is more than that. So I'll get another. Just edit this one, I guess. Switch it to melee. 5. Boop.
All right, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. But you do notice that it is not dealing nearly as much damage as you would hope. And because it's so big, it is immune to the knockdown effect of your unarmed attacks.
Oh.
All right,
Fun.
that's fine. In to try to be entertaining, can I go on this block, like climb on the block?
That'll be a
Or-
task, so you can't do it this turn. But you could get
Okay,
up to
fair
it
enough.
if you wanted to.
Fair enough. I'll do that.
Okay. Alright. It will try to smash you because it's not very happy. Alright, roll a daring security.
Daring security. I'll switch that back to 2. No.
Oh, so you
Probably-
gave me a threat, and that is not enough. So you take, let's see, 4 points of stress there.
I'm still out.
Okay. It is now Fitz's turn.
Alright, I'm gonna move behind this pillar. Can I pick up one of these rocks and try to yeet it at him?
I suppose. Give me
Right.
a control and security check.
Control security. I'm gonna use momentum as well.
Okay.
Can I assist by cheering using my team building?
Yes, but next time. Alright. So that is enough. You can deal a 1 plus your security worth of damage. What is your security?
My security is 3.
Okay, so that's 4 challenge dice total. If it doesn't
how do I
work,
do
you
that?
can just roll. Type /R space 46, and we'll just do it that way.
R/space 46.
The /R should be. Sorry, /R.
Slash R space 46.
All right. No,
That's
4D6, not 46.
Sorry.
But you still have to do the /R part?
That was me.
Oh, okay.
Writing the example.
4D, right.
There it is. All right. So
if you're rolling a 46 with 4d6, then you definitely deserve it.
So that is 3 points of damage, but you notice it just basically bounce off of the creature's body hair, and it does not seem to even notice. All right, so we'll start this round with
Yeeted it.
Ensign Greg, who wants to inspire confidence. So why don't you roll a difficulty 1 command and presence check?
With my focus, right?
Of team building?
Team building.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Okay. And this is what did you say the complication range was?
1.
1. Okay, it's just normal.
All right.
I'm helping.
All right, the creature is still trying to destroy our turtle friend.
Hit the glowy bit on its back. I think it's a weakness.
All right, what do you got there for your daring and
Right.
daring and security?
I forgot that I was supposed to roll. Okay, let's do it. 2.
Fortunately, that ties, which means it goes to the aggressor, who manages to whiff anyway because I rolled all blanks.
Fitz. So the Zaheen can generate a camouflage field. Unless you have a talent, it has no mechanical benefit, but you can be kind of predator-like and hard to see. That would put on a good show, at least.
That would make it less
Okay.
likely for you guys to be fed to horrible pets.
So, what do I do? What?
Not even a task, you just say you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have the talent, you can actually become invisible, but without it, your species just becomes like fuzzy and hard to see.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm doing that.
Okay. And then what?
And then I'm gonna take a run up from behind it and kick it in the back of its knee.
All right,
And
daring
go,
security.
"Hiya!" as I do it.
Nice. Daring and security.
Daring security. In fact, I'm also gonna give you a threat to add a die.
All right, well, I'll take it back to also add a die. 2. All right, well, guess what? You succeeded, so you get to roll your unarmed damage, which is gonna be another.
Which is the same thing you just rolled.
Basically,
No,
yeah.
it's not. Well,
Oh,
yeah,
so-
I guess it is.
Yeah, it is.
Slash R 46.
Yeah. All right, so that is 1, 2, 3 damage. Unfortunately, you kick, and then it just bounces you off, and you fall onto the ground and get up quickly, but to no visible effect to the creature.
I hit it right in the back of its knee. Come on.
It's tough.
Yeah, but she went hiya.
Yeah, that's true. You did. All right,
Surely that counts for something.
back up to the top. Whose turn is it?
All right.
Right.
I'll climb on this thing.
Mm-hmm. All right, give me a fitness and security check.
Fitness, security.
Difficulty 1. All right, yep, you're on top of it.
Can I do anything else? Or...
Nope.
Okay, just check.
But you better hope it doesn't get the knockdown effect on you, because if it does, you're falling off. And I'm going to spend...
I'm hoping for entertaining.
I'm spending a threat to get a third die. All right, I got 1 success, I think. Let me double check. Nope, 2 successes.
Do I get to roll against it like before?
Yep. It's a melee attack. Oh, yes, you do.
Do we have any momentum?
Nope.
Okay,
We always have the ability to get momentum.
Yes, I'll give you a threat.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, I get another
Alright,
threat.
I'm falling.
Thank you. Thank you for that second threat. And then you
Yeah. Whoopsie.
take 3 points of stress, but are also knocked off for an additional 2 points of stress.
I have 1 stress left.
Well, you might get
Oh,
injured.
are we gonna? It looks like we're eating turtle soup for tonight.
So I'll just put my guy over here in the corner. Does he fill out?
All right. So it is Fitz's turn.
Right. So throwing the rocket at it has done nothing. Trying to attack it and go higher did nothing. I'm gonna run away.
I mean, that sounds like a get fed to the pets kind of move, but okay.
Oh, okay, well, maybe not. Right, okay. So, I don't know. Should I try and attack, or am I going to try and help the turtle? All right, no, what I'm going to...
You should, if you're going to attack, you should use the aim minor action, if you're not using another minor action.
Does that help with melee attacks?
It doesn't say anything about whether it's ranged or melee. The aim text says the character may reroll a single d20 made on an attack before the start of their next turn.
All right, yeah.
Okay.
So if you're not doing another minor action, you should do that one.
Well, I'm doing that then. And then, because I'm doing backflips and stuff, I'm going to try and backflip and kick it in the face.
Okay. You won't be able to reach up to its face, but you can probably get its torso.
Yeah, well, okay. I'm aiming for its face, but I don't realize how tall it is, so I end up hitting its nipple, okay? If it works.
Do a flip.
So what am I doing?
Daring and security.
Oh, fuck it. I might as well give you a threat. There we go. Getting kicked in its nipple.
And you can reroll that 0.
Yeah, you might as well. Those,
Yep,
There you
there you
go.
go.
Okay, there you go. So that's 3 successes. I'm going to spend all 3 of the momentum I have to get 4 dice.
Do I not get to do my damage?
Only if
You have
I
to win
fail.
the check first.
Oh, yeah.
Which you did, so yeah, you get to do your damage. Alright, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, this actually does seem to have caused this to notice you and realize that maybe you're not just a complete pushover. Alright, it is back up to the top of the turn.
Do side characters get determination?
Yeah, you can still use determination if you have it.
So one way in which you can spend determination is after you do your first task, you can spend your determination to do a second task if you can find a way to tie it to a value. I don't know if any of you have values.
No, I don't think I'd have any determination for Fitz either.
You
I
should,
just
because you
clarified
didn't...
that everyone has one.
Yeah, you
Oh,
should.
okay, right, everyone has them. Right, anyways, turtles go. Are you alive still?
I have 1 not damaged stress spot, so I am still awake.
So what's the plan?
Well, how about if you try and get behind it, and then hide in your shell, and I can push him over?
That could work.
Just do the run and the drop double kick.
Yeah.
Okay. I have an idea for that.
Okay.
So I'm going to get behind it. I have to use a minor action to get up, I assume. So I get behind it, and then I'm gonna use my claws to like climb up the back of it.
This
All right.
sounds
The
like
claws.
you're trying to create an advantage. Is that what you're trying to do?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because that's a specific task of its own. That's a difficulty of 2.
We're gonna use
I'm gonna climb up the back of it.
we're gonna
is
use
what
daring and security on this one, and it's gonna be difficulty 2, and it'll create the advantage of
I'm-
turtle on the back.
I'll give you
A
a
well-known
threat
debuff in many
Yes.
RPGs.
Yes.
I'll give you a threat to roll 3.
Okay.
I didn't.
You did not. But now that you're behind it, the big hulking guy is focused on Fitz. So on its turn, it rolls an attack against Fitz, swinging its big old Fitz around and getting 1 success. So Fitz, get 2 successes, and you can try to make to roll for damage instead.
But you did.
There you go. Roll damage.
Oh, I didn't even type.
You should
before I was
copy.
trying to
You
type.
should copy and paste it once you type it.
Yeah,
by the way.
I should.
Yeah.
Ha!
All right, so that's 4 points of damage. All right, it definitely has taken some injury. Although clearly, if this had been a human, it would have taken much more.
Okay.
From the sidelines, can I use my logical capacity to analyze like the way the creature's moving and then to yell out a timely warning? To basically, I'm trying to create an advantage.
Yes, I will let you try that. That will be command insight.
Can I help him?
No.
I am terrible at this, but it's better than doing nothing, probably.
Yeah, it's yeah. Oh,
Hey, you did it. All right.
I mean, your character's played by Harrison Ford, remember?
Top of the next turn.
so the turtle is now behind it, and I'm in front, and I'm gonna take a massive running kick straight at its chest to try and knock him over the turtle that's behind it.
All right. Give me a daring and security check.
And I'm gonna give you 3 threat, so I can get 4 die.
Okay. Hey, that is almost certainly going to be a success. I'll spend 1 die to get, or 1 threat, sorry, to get myself a 3rd die. That's 4. Yeah, no, you succeed. Right, roll that damage.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3. Unfortunately, it seems to have no effect.
No. Will that work? That's like the scene out of Endgame. All of that for a drop of blood.
Yep. All right, I'm going to spend another threat to use to try to attack Fitz, but the warning helps, allowing Fitz to get an extra free die on the defense roll.
Can I point out real quick that they're the only two who don't have their weapons? We all still have ours.
I mean,
If we wanted to interfere,
I'm just saying. I'm just making everybody aware. I'm not saying to do anything with that information. I'm just making that information available.
phasers are not well known for their subtlety.
Yeah. Make a daring and security check with an extra free die there.
I'm just saying it might be very intimidating if we blow their champion's head off with like
You're right.
4 shots to the face.
All right, so it goes in for a swing, but because of Willem Talk's timely warning, you're able to duck out of the way and try for a double-fisted, together Star Trek-y punch thing under its arm, allowing you to roll for damage. No, you already did that. You just rolled the 4
shit,
4
sorry, no, I pressed the wrong thing. Yeah, that was what I meant. I had my finger on the wrong bit when I was
He can't
instead of
even
enter.
count to 4. He can't even count to 4.
All right, well, that actually did a considerable bit of damage, and the thing staggers back, surprised by having the wind knocked out of him. And it
Fitz is a badass. She might be a klutz, but she's a badass.
Yeah, it turns out. But hey, it's the top of the turn again. Who's going first?
The clutch is coming in clutch.
Yeah. Come on, Turtle. We've got him on the defensive here. It's your turn.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like take like a couple steps back and then do like a running charge to like use my shell to like hit the back of its knees, both of them.
Okay. Savage Mayan Ziggurat Cobra for $4.99 says Section 31 probably has a phaser with a suppressor. Well, I do know that they speedwalk everywhere, but I don't know if that's true. All right, I'm going to use 1 point of threat to get a 3rd. Roll me that daring and security check there.
Alright, I'll give you that point back to have a 3rd.
Okay, 3 versus 3.
At least I got 3 this time.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, I probably won't. Except that, yeah, I did. Which still means you win. So, hey.
Nice.
Do I still get to do the damage, or
Yep.
do I just knock him over?
Oh, you can do the damage, yeah. You're probably not going to be able to knock him over. He's gigantic.
Okay. Well, I was attempting to, but either
It'll
way,
look
I'll
good.
do it anyway.
All right, so that's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He falls over and knocks his head on a rock and is now unconscious.
Nice.
Give him the people's elbow.
Yeah. I was gonna say, can I like do a backflip and finish with like a groin punch?
Coup de grace.
Well, you can, but as this happens, the guy at the other end of the arena from where you entered stands up and says, "The small visitors have won! I was not expecting this, but I suppose now that you have won, you may ask for a boon."
Well, I high five Hoktua.
And I say, and Haktua says, "You're coming on the podcast to talk about this one."
yes, I am.
Post-fight interview.
For our boon, we would like a safe passage to the Veil.
Oh, safe passage? That's boring.
Yes.
I was hoping you would just say that you wanted to go
That
back
is
to
why
the
it's a
Veil.
boon.
I would like, when we get back, to potentially introduce the Klingons to this group.
Well, he's
No,
he's clearly disappointed.
don't do it.
He says, "I was hoping you would just ask to go back to the Veil flat so I could use this lever to flood the arena so you would have to run back in and not drown."
That would have been fun.
No, I really would
No.
like.
Still
Kitty
could.
Cat doesn't
And he
want the water.
grabs the lever.
Boring.
Is that what you want? I could do it.
No.
Oh, is that true, Zerlon, about the weapon from Borderlands?
No, he's the one in charge.
Yes. Apparently, the guy in charge of development does not like that comedic route and rejected it. But yeah, that was one of the developed weapons that they're working on.
The
They rejected.
Hoktua.
So the developer, the lead guy, is rejected that name.
Oh,
Alright,
shame.
Well,
If we send you some other fighters, which we call you to let them know to come here to fight?
Motumbu.
Small people for fun?
I'm Motumbu.
I write that down.
Alright, well, I suppose I'll
Please.
escort you back to the Veil of Eternity the safe way.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, good job, though. That was a good fight.
Yay.
Alright, so some guard-looking guys come and say, "It's this way, come on." Alright,
Haktua
so
is out of breath, but makes it.
you guys get to...
I just backflip all the way.
You get to the
You
Veil.
should backflip more often. You're better at it than walking.
Yeah.
You get to the Veil, and as you go through, you find yourselves in a clearing in a jungle, lush with foliage. And back on the bridge, Zerlon, your Lieutenant Lanford, has picked up communicator signals.
Captain, we've got signals back.
Excellent. Open a channel. Away team, this is Captain Hawk. Report your status.
Does Fitz's communicator work right now?
Oh, but it's just going.
No, everyone's communicator is working, and you guys all pick up the Captain Hawk to the landing party.
Captain Hawk, this is Lieutenant Fitz here. We're happy to hear your voice.
Thank you, Lieutenant. What is the status of the away team?
We may have found an interdimensional portal, sir.
Was this a Tilikaal relic?
It certainly gives off radiation that is similar to that, sir, but there is no signs of ruins that would indicate that. But we sure have an interesting story to tell you.
Also, we may have lost the shuttle. I don't know where it is.
Oh yeah, there.
On
Can we
the
get beamed
other
up,
version.
please?
I'm sorry, Lieutenant Dave. Did Fitz say the shuttle is gone?
No, the shuttle is still in the version of the planet where we landed, but now we are in a jungle. But it looks like the Lexington also hopped dimensions to the other planet.
All right. Well, as long as we haven't lost any crew, a shuttle is less important.
I do a head count.
If we... The portal seems to be random, but if the Lexington can be affected by it, we could try to get the shuttle back.
All right. I'm going to order for the away team to be brought back to the ship. So if there's interdimensional travel going on, I don't want to lose people. Since we have them now, we should get them back.
Yeah.
Captain, you may want to operate quickly. Apparently, there's windows where this happens.
Yes. Okay. I'll order the teleporter room to beam the away team.
You don't want to get separated again.
All right, so it is not going to be too tricky to beam them back now that they're all in the right reality, and the risk of injury that was there earlier is not there when you're beaming to the pad. So you all are all able to safely go back, and so basically we're going to start wrapping things up. I'm going to assume you all file your reports, and Admiral Stoker is going to get those reports. Probably be disappointed that you didn't find any ruins, but you know what? That's her problem.
Over the ship's intercom comes, and now, on the podcast of the day...
Dr. Tregan's going to be sipping coffee and saying, are they really admitting to breaking the Prime Directive podcast, going out to the entire universe?
To be fair, Tua
No,
would have
no.
asked for permission to put it on the podcast, but
This is
That
meanwhile,
permission-
actually, you know what might happen? I might actually go to Shelby, and if you start talking about temporal stuff, I'm going to say, Shelby, shut them down.
So I do want to point out
That's going to be breaking our, secret job.
Admiral Stoker's Tilikaal missions are usually classified, so this would be a great way to get a court-martial.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if
If
that
you ask for
starts coming up,
permission-
I'm just like, Shelby, you need to cut their feed.
That permission would be denied.
okay.
See, we did break
he would abide
Prime
by that.
Directive. This time, the Prime Directive broke us.
Yes.
All right, guys.
It was
Well,
not
thank you.
cool. He was
I'm imagining that Hawk is filling out the paperwork to have lost an entire effing shuttle on this mission, and Tua's like, by the way, Captain, can I do a podcast broadcasting our secret mission? I'm like,
All right,
Can
guys.
we-
We're gonna.
can we just talk about
we're gonna.
the light?
We're gonna wrap
Shuttle.
up.
We know
We're gonna wrap up.
exactly
We're
where
gonna
to
wrap up. We're gonna wrap up. All right. So, everybody, thank you so much. I had a lot of fun. There are certainly going to be consequences. Admiral Stoker is going to be less than happy, but hey, the plan is right now. Next week we're going to be back for the whole of the law, which will be episode 13. It definitely won't have a flat Earth, but it might have a flat world anyway. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you all had fun. Please make sure you hit like on the way out if you enjoyed the stream at all. Subscribe if you are interested in seeing more of this, and hit that bell icon. And
Yes.
yeah, hey, if you also want to see more of me, I will be on my main channel, Dapper Dinosaur, tomorrow, talking about the young Earth creationist Bodhi Hodge and his book about the Tower of Babel, which he thinks actually explains linguistics.
Not a linguist. Dapper is going to be talking about it.
Thinks
I will be there with Vishanti, who is my usual co-host for Saturdays, as well as biblical scholar Kip Davis, who is a specialist in early Jewish and Hebrew literature and who has worked with several translation committees for the Dead Sea Scrolls. So if anyone is going to have a good handle on what the actual text of Genesis here says, it's going to be Dr. Kill. So,
Does he have any experience with pre-Yiddish? Though?
no, unfortunately he has no pre-Yiddish experience. So, what are you going to do?
I'm really enjoying this one you're doing on the Tower of Babel. It's been great so far. Looking
Yeah, I'm
forward
having
to
fun
the
with
next
it.
one.
The
Bye, everybody.
video's great.
We're...
Hurts.
Well, yeah.
Bye.
Bye.